Well, good morning, beautiful people. Happy Friday to you. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Great morning to be here with you in America's finest city. I am broadcasting live from my home office. And for the last day, I'll be back in Monday, feeling much better. Thanks for all the well wishes, certainly. And again, thanks to my partners over there. Paulie Reindl, the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning.
How was the anniversary dinner last night?
Anniversary dinner was outstanding.
I want to hear what you had in a moment, but okay. I want to introduce our pal, Benjamin R. Higgins, friendly neighborhood sports anchor. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning. I'm starting to forget what you at least smell like because I can see you and I can hear you, but it's been a while. Last Thursday is the last time you've been in studio.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird scene. It does bring back some I guess fond memories of broadcasting together in the Corona Cave. But Hannah asked me this morning, "Do you like working in there?" I said, "I do. It's nice to be at home and get a little extra rest, but I miss the energy of being in the room, and you feel like kind of left out." This is how Paulie felt for 6 months. So. But Paulie, you had your fourth anniversary dinner last night at Poseidon, which is a delicious place. What did you have?
Let's see. We split a Caesar salad to start, and then Megan got the yellowfin tuna.
Delicious.
Always a good choice.
And then I got the pork chop.
Pork chop at a fish shop.
Really? Yeah, you went with the land over the sea option.
Yeah, went land over sea.
Plenty of both, land and sea. I was between the Maine lobster and the pork chop. Just looked delicious. You know what it was?
Do you ever get the fish at a steak restaurant?
Sometimes.
No.
I could.
I really feel compelled if I'm going to a restaurant that specializes in a certain area of cuisine, I try to stay in that lane and not vary.
I get that for sure.
I do as well.
But this isn't like going to, taco shop and ordering a cheeseburger necessarily. It's still really good food no matter what you get. Anything on the menu is delicious.
But they do have, you go to a Mexican restaurant and occasionally they've got the hamburger on the menu for people who just don't like Mexican food and get dragged to the restaurant. It's
right.
Never going to order the non...
I wasn't ordering off the kids' menu. But, no, it was good. Somebody's like, how could you pick a $12 pork chop? It wasn't a $12 pork chop. It was...
If it was, I might have ordered it then. It was only $12.
No kidding. Honestly, what it is for me is I love a good pork chop. And that's something that I never make at home because it's always better at the restaurant.
God, they always do it so good. I've never had a bad pork chop. In my whole life ever at a restaurant. Never. It's a good choice. It's a good choice. It was a curious choice, but a good choice, I think. And listen, like we always, order what you dig, man. Eat what you want and be happy with your selection. As long as you're happy at the end of the day, that's all that matters. We are just a couple of weeks away from our third annual-ish Ben and Woods Open. And, Benny, fire the details out, because I've got a story that even Ben hasn't heard yet that is you guys are going to, this is how you want to start your Friday off. Okay?
My God.
Yeah, just a reminder, it's going to be on June 19th. That's a Wednesday, Goat Hill Park in Oceanside. It's right off the freeway there. It's pretty easy to get to. I think some people think, it's way up in Oceanside. Very, very conveniently located right off the 5 freeway. It's in fantastic shape. If you haven't played Goat Hill, I was talking with a guy last night. He's been playing there regularly. So much fun. Such a fun, great little course to play at. We've got flights in both the morning and the afternoon. Shotgun at 8 a.m., which is filled up pretty quickly. There's only a couple of spots left. There's a few more in the afternoon, but you really do want to get signed up soon if you'd like to get involved. You can sign up for a foursome. You can sign up for a twosome. Sign up by yourself, and we'll pair you with other tier ones. But we're just hoping to have a really enjoyable time. We've got prizes for the winners. We've got some auction raffle items that you can buy raffle tickets and win some great prizes. There's going to be food, multiple food, beverages, responsible adult beverage drinking going on, and some fun stuff, including Ben's Glory Hole, which Woods named, where you can hit a shot.
There it was. Glory hole.
Compare it to mine and potentially win a dozen Callaway Chrome Tour golf balls. Chrome Tour being our our sponsor of the tournament, which is really great, of Callaway, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody out there. Paulie's got all the information on our socials. If you want to go, just click the link, sign up, and get there soon, though, because we're going to have to, put the foursomes and everything together here really soon, and there aren't that many spots left. So if you were thinking about it, if you're kind of on the fence, this would be a good decision day on a Friday to go, you know what, let's do it. Either you got the day off, hopefully. Many people do on that June 19th. It's a Wednesday. If you don't, it's probably worth taking a day off and joining the rest of the Tier 1 community out there, because the first two were excellent events, really great vibe, and expecting more of the same later this month. Or next month,
Cole
actually.
asks,
This is still May.
Yeah, it's still May, the longest month of our lives. Cole asks, do I have to be good to play at the Ben & Woods Open? No, it's a scramble. So it's a best ball. Ben hits a shot, I hit a shot, Paulie hits a shot, you hit a shot.
Pick up the three worst ones and then go to the best one.
And sometimes, man, just make a couple putts and you'll help your team. And yeah, we're going to pair people together. So we got to get all that done. But it's funny because you mentioned, getting involved with the tournament. And a couple weeks ago, I got a call from our pal Chris Connolly, who does marketing for the San Diego Padres, and they are, of course, a partner of ours. And you know what? I was so touched with his offer. He said, I know, with golf tournaments, you want to have things that people like. And people, they show up, they pay their money, whatever. They get their breakfast burrito, and they get their beer, they get their whatever, and then you give them a bag full of stuff. And I said, yeah, we're currently working on the swag bags. And he said, let me see what I can do to help.
How many golf tournaments do you go to where you get, something that may be like shtick, like, oh, it's, nose hair trimmers or something?
Well, we gave those away.
Yeah. And how many people actually use those?
I do. I still use my Ben & Woods nose hair trimmers. I do. I swear to God.
You don't.
I swear. Woman. She will bring them in, dude. I'm telling you. She will bring them in. I use them. But anyway, so Chris calls me and says, hey, we'd love to help. So not only are they going to give tickets away and a Padres basket and all that, he goes, you're going to need some stuff to put in the bags. And I said, yeah, that would be amazing. And so he says, let me see what I can do. So I don't think anything about it. I just keep moving on with my life. And last Friday, I awoke in Joshua Tree to a text that said this from our beloved Chris Connolly. I'm going to pull it up for you. Should have had it ready. I don't. Says, the 200 rally towels were dropped off at your offices yesterday to your attention. FYI, Chris. And I said, you're the best, man. Thank you. Okay? 200 rally towels we're going to put in there. Yeah, Paulie's got one right there. So yesterday, it kind of – now, listen, I was on vacation. I was out of the city and, frankly, not feeling my best Friday morning when I woke up. I'll be completely honest with you guys. And I called our boss, Adam Klug, yesterday. And I said, hey, bud, by the by, just wanted to make sure you still had those rally towels. I know I've been out all week. I need to pick up those.
Is it extra sweet because it's against the Dodgers?
I need to pick up from you these rally towels, bring them home, because I'll probably be the one that ends up stuffing the majority of the bags. So I'm going to bring those to my house. And there was silence on the other end of the line. And I said, hello, Adam, are you there? He said, the yellow rally towels? And I said, yeah. He said, those were for you? And I said, yes. And he said,
do you see where this is heading, Ben?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. He said, we might have a problem. And I said, what would that be? He said, well, they dropped off some stuff, some of the giveaways with some talking points, like they always do, of the Xander Bogaerts bobblehead or the new
City Connect pouch.
The City Connect pouch, right? And so I said, okay, but there certainly weren't any talking points for some outdated rally towels.
From
right?
2022.
And he said, now that I think about it, no, there weren't. And I said, well, what did you do with them? He said, I gave the majority of them away. And I said, you're joking.
200 rally towels.
Wait, who would he have given them to?
It's a great question. It's a great question that you ask.
Who didn't get one, actually?
Yeah, pretty much. Who didn't get one? So I call Paulie, and Paulie goes, dude, now that you mention it, there are rally towels all over this office.
That weren't there like 4 days ago.
There's one next to the sink. There's stuff everywhere. And I go, no way.
Rally dish towels, apparently.
Rally dish towels, apparently. Maybe they're in the bathroom to dry your hands with. And so at this point, I'm not even mad. I just start laughing. He goes, oh, also, he goes, there were so many of them. I gave 2 bags to Braden. I go, what does Braden need with 2 full bags of rally towels? I'm like, what is he working a car wash on the weekend? Like, what's going on? Who needs rally towels in bulk unless you're the Padres in the playoffs? And so I said, he goes, hang on. All right. He goes, Braden is also trying to get stuff for a golf tournament he's doing. Let me call Braden. So he calls Braden, and he goes, dude, I'm so sorry. You need to get those back. I text Braden. I go, dude, I'm so sorry. We have to ask for those back. He's like, yeah, I think I can get them. I've already dropped them off, but I'm pretty sure I can call up there and get them. So then I said to Adam, and I go, look, you know you're dead for this, right? Like the sad part is I can picture you standing at the front of the office. Hey, good morning. Here's a rally towel for you. Here's one for you. Like some Santa Claus, like handing out rally towels. I'm not joking. Look at the pictures that were sent to me yesterday of rally towels all over our office. This man handed out our prizes to every rank and file person at Odyssey San Diego. Look at the... There's one next to the sink with a rally towel. There's a pile of them
in every sales cubicle.
Desk.
There's
every office has.
This guy M. Peter
on the ping pong
his
table.
Coffee on one.
There's the ping pong
there's
table.
There's a stack of them in the corner. He's literally just look on the ping pong table that doesn't belong in the office. I mean, they are piles on people's desks. My man was walking around like a kid at Christmas, just handing stuff out like Santa Claus. Look, piles and piles of rally towels. So, yeah, the sink one is my favorite. I mean,
that's the one that I was like filling up my water the other day, or yesterday actually. And when you mentioned that on the phone, I go, I did see one that's like on the counter in the kitchen to like put wet dishes on. It wasn't there 2 or 3 days ago. I think Adam actually just started divvying them up all around the office.
Yeah, he gave Braden 2 full bags and then took the other bags and just started handing them out. And I started laughing. I go, I love you, but you're insane. And now, if it came down to it, if we don't get them back or something and we can't put them in the bags, what is the solution there? And I thought Ben may recommend like a roll of Bounty paper towels. We could just rip one individual towel
Padres
off.
on it. There you go.
Yeah, we'll write Padres on it in
Let's
Sharpie.
Let's go Padres.
Yeah, let's go Padres, LFG, SD. But, yeah, man, that's our boss, Adam Klug. The guy he abuses his power in the office with those prizes. And I think we need to set up some sort of mediator that can dole these out because he gets so excited.
Well, this is why, because we also have some great prizes from Callaway. When they asked, where do you want us to send them? I said, let's send them like to Woods' house because I don't want them coming into this building at all.
No.
But I guess we never got to that step, unfortunately, with the rally towels, and they came through the building, unfortunately.
Hey, Michael, these Callaway wedges with Ben and Woods Open engraved on them. Do you want one?
Yeah. We show up to work, and they're just chipping all of our balls with our logo, with our wedges that we're giving away. I mean, it is unbelievable. Yeah, my wife says he's Mary Poppins of swag. He carries that backpack around with giveaway merch. That's it. What do his kids open at Christmas? I guarantee you he put 3 of those aside to wrap up for his kids at Christmas. I promise you.
That makes him
I
like Bill
promise you.
Walton, who apparently did the same thing with his kids in their
Yes.
stocking. Just took all
Wait,
the
I didn't
swag.
hear this.
Yeah, this
Oh.
is one of the stories after he passed away.
Let me pull up the exact
Yeah.
post.
But basically, he was also a swag storer and held it for Christmas for his kids.
Yeah, this
That is unbelievable.
This guy Vince Mancini, he posted when everybody's posting all their Bill Walton stories a few days
Yeah.
ago. He says, "My favorite Bill Walton story was Luke Walton telling how for Christmas his dad would just wrap up some free swag that he had collected." And one year, Luke Walton's stocking was just huge and overstuffed, and he was all excited to open it. And then
Yeah.
when he did, it was nothing but power bars inside.
Power bars.
Wow, just what I wanted. 137 power bars. Dad, you shouldn't have.
That is, listen, my dad's done it. My dad has 100% done it. He's won stuff at golf tournaments, jammed it in our stocking or something. It is just, it's what dads do. I can't wait to do it to my kids. Ben and Woods merch and stickers and radio swag and Toby Keith shirts from down the hall, like whatever I can find. But Adam, I love you, but you need to get my towels back for me, man. At some point, I need to get this figured out and get on our way. But I thought you guys would enjoy that story, Benjamin.
Yeah. Well, we're
Him
learning
handing
the
those
ups and downs of hosting a golf tournament kind of on our own this year. It's a little bit different
Yeah.
than the first two, and let's just say I'm looking forward to the ups of the actual golf tournament day because everything before the golf tournament kind of sucks.
Yeah, it
for
really is
us
tough.
Getting it set up.
It's been tough, but we are going to persevere. So, yeah, please sign up. That will make us very happy to get it filled up or even close to filled up. And we are really close to filled up, but want to make sure that it's a good turnout and that everybody's happy. We are very we like to please you guys, the Tier 1s. We're not making a dime off of this. Like, that's not our goal at all. We want to help the charity. We want to help the Tier 1s, and we just want to have a good day with you guys.
That's
So,
right. North County
there you
Junior
go.
Golf is going to get the proceeds. They're so excited about getting our help here on this, and we couldn't have done it. Obviously, Padres, Callaway, big time thank you. Virgin Beer going to be supplying the beverages for us to enjoy. So please sign up. And we would love to see you out there on June 19th at Goat Hill in Oceanside. All right,
Yes, sir.
you ready to get going here today?
Let's
It's a
get it going.
Friday. It's a Friar Friday. We've got Mike Shildt coming up later on the show today. I'd imagine that a lot of people are eagerly anticipating the skipper's appearance from Kansas City as the Padres get ready for their series. We will set the menu for the program when we come back. Get things started here with Ben and Woods and Paul going into your weekend on San Diego's #1 sports station. Kelly with some traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. It's a Friar Friday. It's Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Woodsy's still on remote, but you will be back in studio on Monday.
Yes, sir.
But we will not be all together on Monday because we will be losing Paul Reindl to his anniversary trip. You're going to be gone on Monday and Tuesday, or you'll be back on Tuesday?
I get back Tuesday afternoon,
so
I'll
Wednesday
be back
morning.
Wednesday on
All
the
right,
show.
so we'll have either Italian Paul or Adam
You will
on the board.
have Adam.
We've got Talboy on Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, Talboy on Monday, and then Italian Paul on Tuesday.
I'm sure he's very much now looking forward to getting to spend 4 hours on the air with us after the towel mishap when he runs the show on Monday morning. So next Wednesday, we'll go 2 weeks without the three of us all being together in this room when Paul finally gets back. Hopefully, knock on wood, that we all make it that far. But have a good Friday show for you coming up. We got some great guests today. We will talk some Padres coming up here in our next segment as we look ahead to this road trip series in Kansas City that starts later today, 5:10 at Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City as Dylan Cease takes the mound against Michael Wacha, former Friar for the Kansas City Royals, getting the start in the series opener. So we'll talk some Padres baseball at 7 o'clock. Something happened yesterday at the Woods household. You might have seen it on social media, and I've got some questions about it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna grill Woods about what I saw from one of his ring cams that they posted on social media yesterday. And finally, for the first time this week, we will play a game of Take on Woods because he's here. We can have a contestant and do the whole game. So we will actually bring back Take on Woods today for a chance to qualify for Las Vegas. We've got Don't Do This at 7:20, and then at 7:35, something a little different. But we will be joined. Big day for this guest. Brock Ungricht, the head coach of the USD baseball team, is playing today in the NCAA regionals up in Santa Barbara. They're taking on the Oregon Ducks, and this USD team has a shot. They are loaded with talent. They've got pitching, they've got hitting, they've got some great defense. I mean, I see so many SportsCenter top 10 plays from the USD Toreros in the field. They've got a shot maybe this year to get to the College World Series for the first time, but it is such a hard road, and he's going to join us the morning of the game. They play at noon today, so we're going to talk to Coach Ungricht as the Toreros get ready to open their NCAA tournament coming up later today. And then right at 8 o'clock, we go right into our Cespedes Family Barbecue Friday with Jake Mintz, who's going to be with us. And I know, Woods, you're excited to ask Jake Mintz about yesterday's big story with the Mets and Jorge Lopez, and there's been a couple of developments on that since yesterday as well.
Yeah, he wrote a really, really brilliant piece for Yahoo, and he's such a good writer, man. He's such a good writer. Read it this morning and was very moved by it. And it's just, again, good lesson for all of us sports fans out there.
Then we've got some Reindl Report headlines coming up in our 8 o'clock hour. And, of course, at 9 o'clock, it'll be the Manager's Report with Mike Shildt coming up from Kansas City. And, yeah, I mean, we'll talk about what went down and his feelings about the squad and, you know, how the team has been playing. We know what his thoughts are, though. The San Diego Padres, Woods, are playing good baseball right now. They've won 7 of their last 9 series. I don't think we're gonna get him to say anything else. We don't need to try to get him to say anything other than that. I think we'd be kind of petulant if we're going to try to argue that the Padres aren't playing good baseball. Correct?
It's funny, though, the way that it's worked out the last, seems like every week, but the Padres are playing well. Then they drop that Wednesday game in spectacular fashion. Then the media asks Shildt about it. And Shildt gets upset. Then there's a day off, right? Cooler heads prevail. And then we get him on Friday. And I was thinking about it last night. I'm like, I don't really care about asking him what happened in that game against the Marlins 2 days ago. You know what I mean? Like, we've already heard the audio. There's no need to rehash it. But this cycle, I think what I want to ask him is, hey, is it possible for you guys to win more Wednesday games? That would be great for all of us involved. Just start winning on Wednesday, and then we can keep the good vibes going. I don't feel it necessary to be like, so what happened 48 hours ago?
And I think he definitely bristles at the idea of rough patches and roller coasters. We heard that on Wednesday. But we also heard his own players, like Jake Cronenworth said, we've yet to kick it into our highest gear. And what I just kind of want to know is what it's going to take to get from good, where you've been, to the highest gear. Like, where's that last little bit going to come from that we haven't, and I think even he'd have to agree that we haven't seen the highest gear from the San Diego Padres. And, he told us in spring training that this team is not going to be the best version of itself early in the season. My goal is that we're going to be playing better baseball as the season goes on, and our best baseball at the end of the series. Better as the game goes on, better as the series goes on, better as the season goes on. And if that's the case, and he's true to his word, then the Padres should be in for a good year here, because they have slowly gotten better from the start of the year to where they are now. Would you not agree with that assessment?
Yeah, I mean, I've said it a million times. I see really brilliant baseball out of this team at times. Brilliant. Like, really good, inspired, brilliant, smart baseball. And then other times I do see games like Wednesday where it's like, all right, well, we won the series and we got a plane to catch, and just a non-competitive game, really. So I think it's hard for even him to prognosticate. What he's going on is his 30 years in the game and knowing, it's a new team for him as well. I know he's been here before, but it's still a new team. He's got to figure out how all the pieces fit exactly. But, what are we, 59 games in? And, I think it's time for everybody to decide what kind of team they want to be this year. And I know his vision, and I believe in his vision. I absolutely do. But it is interesting, the disparity we see from time to time.
So final hour will definitely be centered around our Friar Friday Managers Report with Mike Shildt. We've also got some more tickets to the San Diego County Fair to give away. In fact, why don't we do that right now? We've got our first 4-pack of tickets for the early risers. Really appreciate everybody who gets up in our first hour here with Ben and Woods. So if you want to call in right now, fourth caller is going to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. 838.
You got it.
Wow.
Why can't I think of the number right now? Well, it's the Friday. It's my Friday brain kicking in. 833-288-0973. 833-288-0973. Fourth caller, get a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego through July 7th at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Tickets at sdfair.com. We'll have more to give away later in the program as well.
I love the fair. I can't wait.
Let's see. We had the fair preview day this week, and Chicken Charlie was frying up. He called it a funnel cake hot dog. So it's a hot dog on a stick, but with a funnel cake batter surrounding it, and then powdered sugar and maple syrup adorning said funnel cake hot dog.
I can hear my cholesterol bubbling.
But that's what the fair is about.
My body. Yeah, it is.
I mean, I know you like the healthy corn, grilled corn, and that's all you'll eat when you go to the fair.
Yep, that's true.
But all right, calling in now for the fair tickets, and we'll come back with some Padres talk and looking ahead to this weekend in Kansas City against a pretty good Kansas City Royals team. Get to
really good team.
Coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, happy Friday, guys. It is your old pal Woodsy here. Wanted to tell you about all the incredible deals that are going on down at Sedano Ford in La Mesa. Big fan of my friend Manny Sedano and his dealership. That guy takes a lot of pride in what he does, and he realizes that, listen, buying a car is not always the most fun thing to do. Now, it's pretty cool when you actually get it and drive it off the lot. That's why Manny goes to work every day, because he wants to get you in your dream vehicle, your dream car or truck. They've got incredible deals right now at the dealership, Sedano Ford in La Mesa. The Ford F-150 STX leases for just $338 a month, or the Ford Bronco Big Bend, just $212 a month. That is quite a deal for such an automobile. like the Ford Bronco Big Ben. I'm seeing so many of those on the road these days. It's because they're awesome. That's because they're awesome, and everybody likes them. Manny Sedano is he's a veteran and wants to take care of all the veterans out there. I know Memorial Day is past, but certainly the deals are still there at Sedano Ford in La Mesa. So do not miss the deals. Go to SedanoFord.com today. You can check out all the inventory online or just stop by their incredible, beautiful dealership in La Mesa. Let them know Woodsy from 97.3 The Fan sent you, please.
Congratulations to Austin, who just won the 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair, who are the presenting sponsor for this hour on 97.3 The Fan. Let's go retro at the San Diego County Fair, opening June 7th. The magic of the Midway Live concerts and a nostalgic celebration of fashion, culture, and more. Buy your tickets now online. Learn more at what's happening at sdfair.com. That's sdfair.com. Well, another tough road series coming up for the San Diego Padres, and they have they've had a lot of these, Woods, against some of the best home teams in baseball already this season. I want to go through some of this as they get ready to play in Kansas City tonight in this segment. We can do that right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Viejas Casino and Resort. Couple things to mention here. Tow truck is helping to clear a crash on the La Jolla Parkway off-ramp, northbound 5. It's partially blocked, so just watch out for a little activity there. And southbound 15 near Via Rancho Parkway, we have reports of what looks like some large tarp in the HOV lane. Viejas Casino and Resort is home to the best players club in My Viejas. Start earning points toward incredible rewards like free gifts, concert tickets, hotel stays, dining discounts, and more. It's time to ditch the other guys and join the best. The My Viejas Players Club, Viejas Casino and Resort. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So the Major League Baseball schedule makers did not do the San Diego Padres any favors. Now, I don't think it's on purpose. They didn't know which teams were going to be the best teams at home this season. But when you look at who has played the best in their home ballpark, and I will go through some of the top teams, got the Dodgers, Brewers, Cubs, Giants have been really good at home. Braves have been really good at home. Phillies, of course. Mariners, Guardians, Royals, Yankees, and Orioles have been some of the best teams at home this season. Well, Padres have already played a lot of them. In fact, they've won 4 of 5 series against the teams with the best home records in baseball. They took 2 of 3 against the Dodgers. They took 3 of 4 at the Braves. They took 2 of 3 at the Brewers. They took 2 of 3 at the Cubs. The only one they actually lost against one of those top teams is in San Francisco, right there in the first road series of the season against the Giants when they dropped 2 of 3 in San Francisco. And now they've got another one here this week. They got the Royals, who are 21-8 at Kauffman Stadium this year. 21-8. They just had an 8-game winning streak that was mostly at home. Now, they did lose 4 of their last 5 on a road trip. They were in Minnesota the last few days. They lost yesterday, but they are coming back to the place where they have been very comfortable and played some of the best baseball. They are 12 games above 500. They've got the second best run differential in the American League next to only the Yankees. This is a really good Kansas City Royals team the Padres are facing over the next 3 days.
Yeah, man. And, Michael Wacha is our old friend, certainly. He's going to be on the bump tonight. Dylan Cease, I think this is such a big start for him. Hasn't looked terrible, certainly, but has not looked like the dominant Dylan Cease that we grew to love so quickly here in San Diego right now. So his ERA is ballooned up for him to almost 4 right now in 5 May starts. And, I think he pitched against them a bunch back when he was with Chicago. He's really good on the road as well. So it should be a really good series, man. I'm very impressed with what Kansas City has done. Now, in that 8-game win streak, they were beating up on the A's, who have been a little bit better this year. I think they were beating up on the White Sox as well. But, look, they're going to be ready to play in a place that they're super comfortable playing in.
By the way, obviously you play every National League team, both home and away, but you only play half of the American League teams at their place, and then the other half comes to San Diego, and then they flip-flop every year. Padres still do have to go to Baltimore. They're 19-11 at home, and Cleveland, right after the All-Star break, they're 18-6 at home. So they just happen, and Seattle, they play home and road against Seattle every year. So they just happen to have drawn every single, other than the Yankees, every single one of the teams with winning records at home in the American League in their interleague schedule this year, other than the New York Yankees, who, of course, already came into Petco Park. So, again, as I said, the schedule makers didn't exactly do the Padres any favors, but they, of course, have kind of defied that by playing their best baseball both on the road and against these better teams so far early in the season, which makes like 0 sense whatsoever that, you don't make hay in these games. You try to survive these games on the road. Yet these are the games where the Padres have actually made hay. They're winning at almost a 650 clip on the road against the best teams in baseball. And against everyone else, they're, winning at around a 420, 430 clip, which is why they're barely a game above 500 at this point of the season. You can't expect to be able to do that all year long, that you're going to have your best series on the road against top teams in baseball. Love to see if they can just do it one more time, though. If they can get one more series win here, it'll be a while before they have to play another, not until the second half of the season, where they actually have to go into one of these road venues against one of the better teams in baseball. So this is kind of the end of the first half gauntlet, as it were, for these road series against the toughest teams in baseball.
And it's funny, we'll sit and lament the fact that they're not playing well at home and they are playing well on the road, and we'll bitch about it and moan about it, but God, do we hope it continues right now. I mean, you absolutely have to have it. This team has been hovering around, a game under, 2 games under, 2 games over 500 most of the season. So you hope that the trend continues, honestly. Like, I need them to go into Kansas City and beat up on Michael Wacha. You're going to miss Seth Lugo, who's been really good this year. I was reading an article about him yesterday, too, that basically said, yeah, he's been really good. He's also been one of the luckier pitchers in baseball. But, hey, man, when the luck is going your way and you're pounding the zone like we know he does, he gets a lot of outs. And Wacha has pitched really well, too. He had one blow-up kind of outing that's ballooned his ERA up, too. But he's basically good for like 2 runs, Ben. That's it. And that's how he's been all season.
Oh, we certainly saw him pitch a number of quality starts last year for the Padres. So, Dylan Cease, Wacha today, Musgrove against Alec Marsh tomorrow, and Michael King against Cole Reagans, who's also been pretty nasty for them this season in the Sunday series finale.
They're such a fun team to watch, man. And as much as I hope we whip up on them, certainly, they are a really exciting young team. And then, of course, bolstered by their catcher, Salvi Perez, having a monster season for them. The pitching has been good. They get a lot of quality starts. They're kind of middle of the road as far as batting average allowed and their whip. But, man, they're a really solid squad. And, there's a couple guys in their lineup. Don't let them get you. Don't let Bobby Witt Jr. get you.
He's the reigning American League Player of the Week, just like Luis Arraez is the reigning National League Player of the Week. So you got both of those guys on the field.
Yeah, and try not to let Salvi get you.
What's going on in your house?
Everything okay over there?
Oh, my kids are up and running around screaming. Can you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, pipe down in there.
Good parenting. There you go.
Yeah.
Well done.
That'll show them.
Point. Yeah, that'll get them. Well, we'll see. I think Hunter Renfroe is a current Royal, I do believe.
There's a number of familiar faces on that Kansas City Royals team.
Adam Frazier, Hunter Renfroe. Yeah, few familiar names in there. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, I mean, outside of Witt Jr. and Salvi Perez, there's a couple guys that can hit the long ball, but really, I mean, those are the 2 guys you want to try to keep them, limit their damage. But, I'm excited to see how these 2 teams match up, man.
And quite frankly, Mike Shildt has a chance to back up his words from Wednesday. His words of, not being worried about, an off performance. If they go in and they take 2 or 3 from Kansas City on the road, he will basically be able to say, see, I told you, we're playing good baseball. That was a one-off bad game that people shouldn't get that worried about. That's just baseball. But if they go out and have a bad series here, then all of a sudden those words from Wednesday are going to look a little worse. They're going to look like, okay, something's on fire and you're not grabbing the bucket of water to extinguish it. So he has a chance to kind of go and prove what he was saying about his team coming up in this next series, that, yeah, we're still playing good baseball. You can't take one game out of a stretch of 3 weeks and just say, okay, well, there goes the good feelings and there goes our good vibes. It's all gone because we played a poor game at home against the Miami Marlins.
The Marlins, yeah. No, I agree. And again, I know for us, we like to look ahead, and I know he has to look ahead as part of his job. But honestly, man, the focus has got to be figuring out a way to beat Michael Wacha tonight at home, where they play really well. And again, they're scuffling a little bit. Like you said, they've lost 4 out of 5. They are a really, really good team at Kauffman Stadium, but you got to figure out a way. You get first ups, again, punch them in the mouth. And the first ups thing is always real to me. If you can get early runs, because think about how when the Padres play at home, doesn't it feel like we're behind 2-0 after the first in almost every game? And then we're having to grind our way back. Same thing goes on the road, man. You have the opportunity to score first, get it done. Just take the wind out of their sails and make them try to crawl back. So I'm excited. I do think these are pretty evenly matched teams. Does that make sense? I know the division that they play in is not the greatest. They do have the Guardians in their division, but it's not the greatest division. They are playing good baseball, but I do feel like this is a beatable team.
I mean, I don't know. Yes, they've got the White Sox to beat up on, but the Guardians are good. The Twins are
really
I think, good. And the Tigers they're 500, and they've got some really good players and tough pitchers like Tariq Skubal that you're going to have to go up against regularly if you're in that division. I mean, the Central is not a bad division by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually a pretty good division with one really, really bad team at the bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true. I mean, they feel evenly matched to me. Go ahead, come in.
So I see Jeff in our chat is going to be there for the games this weekend. You went to Kansas City 2 years ago and got to go to Kauffman Stadium. It's one that I would love to get to see. I know they've been talking about like replacing it or putting a new stadium together, and there's been some pushback in Kansas City because people do love that ballpark. It may be a little old and not have the modern amenities of some of the newer parks around there, but people generally enjoy that experience. You enjoyed it when you went there, right?
I loved it. I loved it. I really had a phenomenal time at Kauffman Stadium. I thought it was beautiful. Standing out by the waterfalls was incredible. It was really, really cool. And it was clean. The people were massively friendly. They had a huge play area for kids that, what we've done out in Gallagher Square is pretty comparable to what they had out there already. And it was just a really fun, easy ballpark to get to, easy ballpark to get around, and very, very nice people there as well. Very cool.
It's I just realized it's the Padres waterfall road trip because they're going to Kansas City and the Big A that has the big waterfall out in center field as well. Are those the only 2 ballparks that have waterfalls in the outfield?
As far as I know. Oh, yeah, and I did see there is rain expected for tonight as well.
Oh,
pretty severe rain as well.
Oh.
Jeff said he's people on Reddit told him to avoid the concession barbecue, go out in town. I think you could say that about, any ballpark you go to. If you're going to get local fare, get it locally, and then if in a pinch, you get it at the ballpark. But the barbecue we had in Kansas City was spectacular. So you're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to find a really nice environment to watch a baseball game. And again, a really young, exciting team to watch as well.
Arthur Bryant's is one of those legendary spots in Kansas City with the ribs, and Kansas City tends to go with the sweeter barbecue sauce on their smoked meats compared to, maybe like a Carolina style that's not quite as sweet. They're more pulled pork out there, but it's ribs is usually what you go for in Kansas City. Like Texas is brisket, Kansas City is generally ribs if you're going with the barbecue.
Did you see Jesse Agler's Instagram story last night? Holy smokes!
Holy smoked! What did he get?
Mud took them all out for Kansas City ribs last night, and it looked spectacular. It was Mud, Tony Gwynn Jr. I mean, it looked phenomenal.
I'm shocked that Mud knows a place to get good food on the road.
Of course.
That's a big-time upset. All right, we will come back. We're going to play Take on Woods in our next segment. We haven't done so all week long. Plus, I'm going to grill Woodsy a little bit about a ring cam video from his front porch that was posted yesterday. That's coming up next. With Ben Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I always try to be fair, listen to both sides of an argument before rendering my opinion. But in this particular case, Wood, you're going to have to convince me as to why you're not a horrific monster.
Well,
based on the video that was posted from your house yesterday. Welcome back.
We've got the video evidence here.
Yeah. The Woods and Hannah have cameras all around their home for security, safety, entertainment. I'm not sure exactly what those cameras have done for you, but they've caught just so many different moments of mishaps around your house. There was the time that you fell out of a hammock and, I mean, could have died hitting your. That was Woods' head.
Can you guys hear me? There it is.
That was Woods' head.
Yeah, I almost severed my brain stem falling out of a hammock. And my wife got a lot of amusement about that.
Was your head hitting the corner of your deck?
Of the deck, yeah. Yep. I mean, it was gnarly. Yeah, we have them because we, it just makes sense. We got two small kids at home. There's people come to try to like break in your car and stuff. I don't think it really matters where you live anymore. Like you just gotta watch your back a little bit. So we have them all over the house for when we have babysitters. We have them outside the house to monitor what happens outside the home. Pretty standard stuff, but occasionally it does catch the little bit of gold as it did yesterday.
So you were sitting out in your. Like right on the sidewalk in front of your house in your cul-de-sac. I imagine the kids were playing out in the looks like one of them's on a bike maybe out there.
Bo got a new bike yesterday, and a big boy bike, and he was riding it around, and Taylor was riding around. They're just having a grand old time, and the missus and I just sitting out in right in front of the driveway, just enjoying life.
It looks like you're sitting maybe one leg over the other, but sitting upright. Hannah looks like she's kind of lounging back in it's like a camping chair, like a fold-up chair.
Like a folding camping chair.
But she's lounging back like feet over one of the armrests.
Something like that, yeah.
And there she goes.
Just went toppling over backwards in the chair. So that's awful, but it's happened to all of us. You're leaning wrong. It's a somewhat, unstable chair, and you go down. What is notable, though, is your instant reaction to your wife, who is, 2 feet away from you, collapsing backwards onto the driveway, not onto the grass, onto the driveway.
2 seconds, and you have the phone out.
You quickly go to your phone. It's probably already there, but you quickly grab it. You can see Woods going to the camera, obviously.
She's rolling around in pain.
And you are documenting this, and then you hop up, and then you pick up the chair.
Yes.
And she's now on her hands and knees.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm waiting on your question.
Glad there's audio as well on your cameras.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, was she okay? She's okay, right?
Yeah.
But you couldn't possibly have known that in the moment that she was okay.
So what you can't see in the video is me sitting next to her. When I hear that noise, if you would again, Paulie. So I glance over at her, and my immediate thought, my spirit kind of left my body. And it wasn't fear that she was hurt. I looked down. I saw the smile on her face, right? Nothing excites this woman more than when people get injured. And I'm talking her own children, her husband, anyone. If she sees somebody get hurt, her natural reaction is belly laugh.
So, like America's Funniest Videos when they had the groin shots. That's peak. Peak comedy for Hannah.
I'm absolutely on Hannah's side with this. I have watched YouTube videos of like search people slipping on ice and falling down or something.
Falling down. It for whatever reason, it is her. It kills her. And I looked over and I saw her smiling. So that's when I, like Doc Holliday, I went across. You'll see me go across my body and pull it out. And I was like, before I help her, I have to get this because, again, she has posted so many acts of my feebleness online that I just thought she's going to get herself up and dust herself off. I have to get this shot. Now, what I forgot was there's a camera bearing down right on us. So I had forgotten that, but I knew that I had one here. I reached over, I pulled it out, boom, got the picture, stood up. And by that time, she was laughing, and I died in the street. I did. I picked the chair up first to kind of mostly to get it out of the way, but I also wanted to make sure that it was okay and didn't break, because that would have been a funnier story, because she's gotten me breaking chairs and stuff before, too, being a little portly. And so I looked at her, and I started dying laughing. I could not help myself. She says in the chat she was crying. She was not crying. She was laughing, crying. She was not hurt. And then I asked her this morning, how are you feeling? She said, I wish that there was a bruise to document it, but there's not. So she was fine. It was incredible.
And here is the picture that you took on your quick draw phone if you're in our YouTube stream.
Oh, my God.
With her
it was
prostrate on the driveway in her
she
chair.
That big smile on her face.
I'm on Team Ben and Hannah here, unfortunately for you, Woods. But you going for the chair first is what gets me.
Yeah.
You pick up the chair and prop the chair back up first while Hannah remains lying on the concrete.
Yeah, like I said, man, the reach for the phone, it was like instinct. Now, you always see those. You see those, some like videos will come out, and people are like, hey, why didn't they help? And why didn't they run to this person's aid or whatever? And I'm like, well, because they were filming it. And I think it's just become part of like who I am and who we are as a culture. And I'm not saying that's a good thing, but when I saw her down like that, I thought to myself in an instinct took over. And I said, I have to get this shot. I was like a reporter, Ben, or a photographer, like, Mickey Mantle's hitting his 500th home run. I have to get this shot here. I cannot miss it. And that's how I felt.
So I'll have to admit, when I came across the video, I had not heard from you, so I didn't know it existed, and I didn't see that it was you who posted. I just saw the video and assumed, oh, this is one of those funny videos being retweeted into my stream. And my first thought is, oh, that's like a husband. He's going to get absolutely killed for pulling his phone out. And then I realized, wait, I kind of recognize that driveway in that house. And I looked and I go, oh, this is Woods and Hannah. I didn't even realize that it was you guys that had posted that video. So, but Hannah's okay.
She's great. She's fantastic, and no bruising or really any mark. You'd really never know what happened. But yeah, the feeble behavior. I mean, maybe it's sexually transmitted. I don't know. I have no idea because now she's got the feeble behavior. So it was fantastic. It was fantastic. The chair's fine. Everybody, don't worry about the chair. The chair is
That's what
good.
we were all concerned about.
It's a great chair, and she's doing good. But yeah, man, honestly, when she hit the ground, and I looked over and I saw her smiling, that's when I went, all right, I can get this shot. She did not wince in pain. You can hear her laugh when she hits the ground.
You can actually. We need a contestant for Take on Woods, so call now.
Question.
Yeah.
How are we going to do this?
Oh.
Because I can't see you.
We'll text you when.
I'll text you.
Just take off your headset. Go.
Right, so
go away.
I'm going to close the chat. Close the chat. So I want to make sure this is on the up and up.
Yeah, and then just walk away, and then we'll text you when it's time to come back in. So take your phone, and we will text you back. Call now 833-288-0973.
We don't have a caller yet. Okay.
Yeah.
See you later.
That's all right. When people are calling in, I think it's been a while since Hannah has had an entry in our tournament of drops.
Oh.
But I think that one might at least I could see that being like a 4 seed somewhere kind of in the middle of the pack for next year's tournament of drops. So keep that one on file just in case.
You are bracketology Ben, so what you say goes when it comes to the tournament of drops. I will file that away right now.
All right, seems like we got a contestant on the line, so let's get to it. It is time to take on Woods. Oh, we got Guy, who is trying to sneak in here at the end of the month here in May. Good morning, Guy. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Ben. How you guys doing?
Good to talk to you as always. Take on Woods brought to you by
Hey.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. And, of course, wrapping up our month, playing for the two-night stay at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, and the tickets to Warrant on June 22nd. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Here are the last category choices for the month of May, Guy. We've got Say Cheese. We've got It's Not False. And both of those you just kind of have to figure out as you go. And then we have Ooh, Ooh, I Know This One. And that one will be bands with double O's in their name. So Say Cheese, It's Not False, or Ooh, Ooh, I Know This One.
Let's try Say Cheese.
Say Cheese. Okay. You're just going to have to figure this one out, kind of like mystery category style as we go. But the category is called Say Cheese. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. The first question is our 2-second song. Paulie will play a little bit of music. You need to give me the title of the song and the artist to score that point. If your score beats or ties Woods, we'll put you into the drawing for the trip to Las Vegas. I know you know how it works. Guy, are you ready to play?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Paulie, give you a second here to cue up our song. All right, he is ready to go. Again, the category is called Say Cheese. Your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck, Guy. Let's take on Woods.
Photograph by Def Leppard.
Correct. MTV had to drastically censor the video for which 1981 first top 10 hit for Duran Duran due to an abundance of female nudity.
Rio.
Incorrect. Kid Rock's highest charting hit is which 2002 duet with Sheryl Crow?
Picture of You or something like that?
Picture is good. You've got it. The sounds of a clicking camera can be heard early in which 1981 follow-up to Centerfold by Jay Giles Band?
Freeze Frame.
Correct. Which 1973 Paul Simon hit is named after a brand of reversal film used to make slides for projectors?
Of what? Say it again, please.
What 1973 Paul Simon hit is named after a brand of reversal film used to make slides for projectors? Ooh, okay. Time is up. That's okay. You got 3 right in a tough category. So if you figured it out there, text Woods that he needs to come back. Say Cheese, everything about pictures and photographies. Photograph, Girls on Film was the Duran Duran hit. Picture, Freeze Frame, and Kodachrome is the name of the Paul Simon song. All right, Woods is putting back his headphones on. You didn't hear any of that, right, Woodsy?
Thing I couldn't over 2 kids screaming.
Of course. All right, so we've got Guy's scores locked in. Going to put the 2-second song back, ready to go. 60 seconds on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Guy.
That's Photograph by Def Leppard.
That is correct. MTV had to drastically censor the video for which 1981 first top 10 hit for Duran Duran due to an abundance of female nudity.
I'll pass.
Kid Rock's highest charting hit is which 2002 duet with Sheryl Crow?
Picture.
Correct. The sounds of a clicking camera can be heard early in which 1981 follow-up to Centerfold by Jay Giles Band?
Pass.
Which 1973 Paul Simon hit is named after a brand of reversal film used to make slides for projectors?
Crap. Go back to the second.
MTV had to drastically censor the video for which
Girls on Film.
Correct. The sounds of a clicking camera can be heard early in which 1981 follow-up to Centerfold by Jay Giles Band?
Oh, my God. What's his follow-up? Next.
Which 1973 Paul Simon hit is named after a brand of reversal film used to make slides for projectors?
I don't know. I'm out.
All right, it's a 3-3 tie, which means, Guy,
God.
you sneak in at the end of the month.
So good, too. Whew.
Very good. So all those questions, it was called Say Cheese, Photograph, Girls on Film, Picture, Freeze Frame. I thought you could get that one. And Kodachrome is the last one. That was a tough one on our 5th question. But, Guy, hang on the line. You have qualified for the trip to Las Vegas in today's category. Say Cheese on Take on Woods.
Whew, man, I when I heard it was Guy, I instantly got panicked. It was like facing Mason Miller, and it's like, oh, you saw Mason Miller blew a save yesterday. I guess it actually happens. I thought I was going to get smoked.
Your strategy is getting better, though, because you quickly passed to try to determine kind of the theme and the category before going back, and it helped you with the girls on film later on when you went back to it. So you are getting clever on your strategy on this game.
Thank you, sir. I'll take a tie. I'll take a tie after a week off.
And Guy, I'm glad Guy gets a chance to qualify as well.
For our next giveaway, we can do my 3-year-old to the fourth caller, 833-288-0973.
And he's all
Taylor. Yours. Yeah, we'll bring him over.
Win a 4-pack of tickets and Taylor.
And Taylor Woods coming up next on the show. Just call now, and he's all yours.
All right, we've got Don't Do This coming up next, including a new hit by a major NFL tight end.
Well, people react to breakups differently, and this man decided to express himself in song, and we absolutely have to play it. I'm sorry.
That's coming up next after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan. I'm going to start Don't Do This with somewhat of a self-own here. Don't Do This brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sorrento Valley. Craft Taco has some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today, thecrafttaco.com. So yesterday we actually didn't have a Throwback Thursday, Woods, but this is very timely for both Don't Do This and Throwback Thursday. And our next guest,
man, I had forgotten all
who is
about
going
this.
to be Brock Ungricht, the head coach of the USD baseball team. They're playing in the NCAA Regional today against Oregon, chance to get to the College World Series. And 2 years ago today, in fact, Paulie tells me, was our first time chatting with Brock Ungricht.
No. We had him on a day or two after this moment.
Okay. So 2 years ago today,
but we were probably talking about him.
I had done a segment on Coach's team, but he was a first-year coach, and I apparently did not know how to pronounce his last name. It's spelled Ungricht.
Yes.
And I called him Brock Ungricht.
Yes.
And that sparked this voicemail that we got 2 years ago today from Uncle
Gary.
Good evening. This is Gary Ungricht. I just saw Ben Higgins' sports report Monday evening on Channel 10, Memorial Day. And Ben, I just wanted to help you out here. My nephew, Brock Ungricht, as you well know, is the head coach of USD baseball, who just won their conference championship. It would sure be nice if you pronounced our surname the right way. It is pronounced Ungricht. The T is silent. And if you could correct your mistakes in the future when you mention his name, the family would sure appreciate it.
Oh, my God.
Thank you very much. My phone number is... Again, this is Brock's uncle. Thank you for the report. It was very nice. Looking forward to future telecasts from you and on the radio. Have a good Memorial Day. Thanks. Bye.
Perhaps
I loved it.
Perhaps the smarmiest phone call I think I've ever received in my life, Uncle Gary.
There was one moment in particular where, like, he's being very nice and polite, but he's not happy with you. And it's when he says...
it would sure be nice if you pronounced our surname the right way.
Wow. Ben is committed to accuracy. Committed to it.
I am.
And it is a daunting. I can't tell you guys the amount of times I have to turn the mic off and go, how do I say this guy's name? Like, I've had to look up, pronunciations, trying to find old interviews, and I'm telling you, it's sometimes you don't realize it's in a story or something, and you start reading it, and you see it ahead, and you go, I'm dead. I'm about to make a complete ass out of myself live on the radio. But I thought that was so great. What a great story. This story has taken an interesting turn. About a month ago, we saw a post from Kelsey Plum, who plays for the Las Vegas Aces. She's a star in the WNBA. Saw this post on Instagram. Do what? Yeah, from San Diego. Says, I'm devastated. I walked through fire for that man, but now I see it's time to go. God has given me an incredible life. So truly grateful for the profound love for my family and friends. One day I'll share my story. Today is not that day. Every day I'll continue to choose joy. Much love, KP. Darren Waller was her husband. They were only married a year. He never responded to any of this. And then yesterday, we all saw this drop online. It was a song that he composed, wrote, performed, and did a video about. So here's a taste of that. It's called Who Knew, in parentheses, Her Perspective.
I've already heard enough.
What's that effect that he uses on his voice?
It's called auto-tune.
That's auto-tune? Okay, I was wondering if that was auto-tune.
If you take time, you feel the weight fall off. Your plans off. Go ahead and call off. Tired of your day job. We can go down that dirt road like some kids. We can
Yeah, it's one of the worst. It's one of the worst songs I've ever heard, I think.
Well, he's not a musical artist. He's a football player.
Right. I mean,
it was
you nailed it. I mean, you said it. That's it.
It was an unintentional self-own, I think, in multiple ways. First of all, it's maybe one of the worst things I've ever heard musically. And then when I was listening to it yesterday when it came out, I was like, I got to hear this because I know this is going to be content in the morning. And I'm listening to the words, and it sounded like he said something along the lines of like, I just wanted to chill and blah, blah, blah. It sounded like she was too much for him. Her lifestyle, her stardom was a little too much for him. And that just quadruples down on the fact that how bad he fumbled this one.
Yeah, and the video is something else too. You see I guess a replica Kelsey Plum,
a lookalike that's
brunette,
absolutely intended to be her. Yeah,
correct.
Which
and
is
she walks
crappy.
up to him, and they're on the beach, and the last scene, Ben, is they hug, but then the camera pans to a knife stabbing him in the back, and he falls down on the beach, and the water is rushing up against his face. So. Listen, everybody deals with divorce and things in their own way, certainly, but it's not a great song. The lyrics are not that great either. Who knew that
John
love
wants
could
to know
kill?
who uses auto tune on an acoustic track.
Post Malone does. Post Malone does. I think Morgan Wallen does.
Could we do a Ben and Woods segment like in auto tune?
Bro, I've got a guitar right here. I could probably whip up the chords to that song in about 3 seconds. But yeah, we can absolutely write and produce our very own Ben and Woods auto tune song. I think it would take us 10 minutes to write a song of that quality.
Yeah.
I mean, half the lyrics is just whoa, 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 whoa.
You just need one line that you just sing in repeat.
Don't do this.
Whoa, whoa.
Time for the Reindl Report. Get your heads right on a Friday.
Yeah, we need the tune. Yeah, get your heads right on a Friday. And we can Paulie can auto-tune it in post-production. And I think we'd be good. But yeah, it's a horrendous piece of crap. I'm sorry. I don't. Art is art, I guess, but holy smokes.
All right, finally, just a quick little do this.
DD mega do-do.
And this was just a tiny moment, but I thought it was very classy and very impressive. So last night, Luka Doncic dominated with 36 points, leading the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals. He was named the Finals MVP, the Western Conference Finals MVP, but after the game, they caught on video as he's walking in the tunnel. He's got his arms around rookie Derek Lively II, and you can see him trying to hand the award to Derek Lively because Derek Lively, first of all, he's had a really rough month. His mom, I guess, passed away about a month ago to cancer. And then you might remember earlier in the series, he took that horrible blow to the head, and he was only able to come back for the game yesterday, but he's been contributing. And Luka just wanted to show some appreciation. As he's in the tunnel, he's trying to hand his award, dude, this, got his arm around him, you deserve this as much as I do for what you've done for the team. And I just thought a classy moment from an NBA superstar who just led his team to the finals, and it's going to be Dallas obviously against Boston starting on June 6th in the NBA Finals. Now remember, just quickly, Derek Lively. So the reason Dallas has him is because, remember, they tanked last year to miss the play-in tournament to get a better draft pick. And they ended up with Derek Lively in the draft. Actually, it was a trade with Oklahoma City, but they got him using that pick. And now he's helped them to get to the NBA Finals.
The Finals.
So I guess Mark Cuban gets the last laugh here that everyone was going, how can you tank your way out of the playoffs? And last year they were basically going, we know we have no shot, so we'd rather have the lottery chance and the pick. And they have parlayed that now into a trip to the NBA Finals this year.
Yeah, they're the underdogs, I would say, against Boston.
Probably, but they're playing really well. They're playing really well.
It's the most basketball I watched all season was last night. I watched the most of the first half, and watching Luka just torch them for 20 in the first was was pretty amazing. Yeah, Cuban sold the team, Benny, didn't he?
He sold part of the team, but I think he still gets to make the decisions and stuff.
Okay,
so.
got it.
All right,
Because I saw that last night.
Yeah, and that's Don't and Do This for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, Coach Ungricht of the USD Toreros is going to join us from Santa Barbara, getting ready for the huge game today against Oregon. Coming up next with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Don't go away. The Service Center Woods, we've talked about if San Diego sports curses are real or not, and the jury is a little bit out. You're starting to lean more toward curses.
Broken. Xander broke it. We're good.
Well, I am. Hopefully, it is, because I actually have always thought one of the most unusual oddities in San Diego sports is that we've never had a team get to the College World Series.
Yeah.
San Diego State, with all the great teams that they've had, USD. Great teams, great local players. I mean, we have powerhouse baseball college in Southern California. And yet, for whatever reason, neither of our teams have ever made that final step to get there. But this might be a team to do it for USD this year. And after our check of traffic, we're going to chat with Torero's head coach, Brock Ungricht, on a very big day for his team. That is coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan. And joining us right now is the WCC Coach of the Year. His team won both the regular season title and WCC tournament title, and they are in Santa Barbara today to open the NCAA Regional against the University of Oregon in a 2 versus 3 seeded matchup. Coach Brock Ungricht is with us here on 97.3 The Fan, and pretty confident, thanks to Uncle Gary, that I said that correctly, Coach.
Yeah, it's been a couple years. Ben and Woods, thank you guys, man. Fired up to be here with you guys, man. Thanks for making me laugh this morning. I love it. Every morning.
I was just going to ask you. I was just going to ask you, like, I get nervous managing my adult ball team and my kids' t-ball. I get fired up for that. This is these are kids at the end of the day, but you've got them playing so well. What has kind of been the change in philosophy, or the impetus to get you guys to where you are today?
Yeah, I think it's just allowing them to be themselves, right, within the parameters of the program, right? Obviously, every program, team, rules, you got to have standards and expectations, but allowing them to be themselves, and they're kids. You said it. They're kids that are in the 20 to 22-year-old bodies. I mean, and to find the fun in playing, along with that competitive edge and playing aggressive, man, these guys have just done nothing short of that. And for me as a coach, it's like at this point, it's like stay the heck out of their way and let them be and cheer them on, pat them on the butt, love them, and they've just had an unbelievable year, guys. It's crazy.
This is your second trip to the regionals in 3 seasons as head coach of the Toreros, trying to get to that next stage, the Super Regional. Tell me about the matchups here. Oregon from the I don't know, Pac-12 or Big Ten, one of the two. I'm not sure what they're in yet. But, what are you looking at this weekend to try to get through this regional?
Yeah, it's honestly, guys, it's like staying with us. It's like playing our style of baseball. You got to definitely scout the opponent, know what you're going up against. But you don't want to take too much time on focusing on the opposition, And our strengths have been on both sides of the ball. I mean, our offense and our pitching has been just dominant in the West Coast this year, and Josh Reindl will be pitching for us tonight. He was a transfer from Arizona, which I don't know if they're Pac-12 or Big 12 now too, but he was there the last couple of years, and he's been dominant for us on the mound. And 6'4" right-hander, he'll run it up to 96, 97, and then they got a good power arm going against us as well too. So. They're athletic, they're strong, they're physical, but I really like our chances, especially with the strength of our team, and our culture. So it'll be a good match.
It's so funny. It's so funny. We're talking to Coach Ungricht from the USD Toreros, and I was going to ask you this. You mentioned, you always hear about the transfer portal and NIL and in college basketball and football. How is it for you guys? Because I know the transfer portal has yielded some nice players for you that you're really, really excited about and have counted on.
100%. I mean, I think that's been a huge staple of our program. Our local recruiting is awesome, right? We get a lot of local players, Southern California, San Diego, but adding, 5 transfers a year, if you will, on average, has been huge for us. We get the kid that, hey, at 16, 17 years old, might pick another school, and we're like, hey, that's fine, no worries. Give us a call if it doesn't work out in a couple of years. And they come crawling back, and it's been great for us. And a kid like Josh Randall, Jacob Christian, who was at nearby Point Loma Nazarene, Saints kid, has been unbelievable for us. 23 homers this year, Player of the Year in the conference. And then some relievers for us on the back end. Alex Schreier's been awesome out of the bullpen. He's actually a Santa Barbara portal transfer. So, with that, it's been really helping our program and our team. Who doesn't want to come to San Diego, guys? Come on, let's go. Let's be honest, right?
Talking to Coach Ungricht here from the USD Churros. I wanted to ask you about Jacob Christian. As you said, got him from Point Loma Nazarene. Great D2 program. They're in the College World Series this weekend and carry North Carolina on their level. But WCC Player of the Year. Every time I turn on a game, and Braden calls a lot of them on your channel. He's always hitting a home run. Every time I tune in, he's going deep. Is this a guy that you expect to go, in the draft coming up here in a couple of months in Major League Baseball? Is he getting a lot of scouts at the games this season?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and the biggest thing was, can he translate that from what he did last year, which was unbelievable? Your Player of the Year in Division II, the National Player of the Year, 28 home runs. Can he go do it again, and then going up another level? And he's proven that, and I mean, this guy has hit some. I didn't see Chris Bryant. I was at Stanford when he was at USD. I didn't see Chris Bryant playing college, but I mean, this guy hit some majestic home runs that the most I've ever seen. I've seen Aaron Judge in college, and I mean, this guy hits some towering home runs, and I'm just like, holy cow, it's impressive. And he'll hit him to right, he'll hit him to left, he'll turn around 96, he'll hit a breaking ball out. To your point, Ben, I mean, it's for me as a coach, I'm like, this is the kind of guy, that maybe doesn't come around too often, once a generation. So yeah, he definitely will be getting his name called in a couple months. And he's an athlete too. The guy can play defense. I mean, he can go out and play right field. You can run him out to center field. And, so it's not only, he doesn't only do it with his bat.
Coach, what is your advice to parents like me who I'm watching my 6-year-old right now. I'm broadcasting from home today. I'm watching him in there taking ground balls and hitting, right here at 7:45 in the morning. He's not going to school today. All he cares about is baseball. Awesome. I love to hear from coaches, and we have so many dads out there that coach. What is your number one piece of advice to any burgeoning coaches like myself?
Well, first off, the invitation's open to come on down to Fowler Park anytime you want, because my son Ben is 5, and we should get the boys together, to be honest. Let's go.
Heartbeat,
bring them on
that'd be
down.
Amazing.
Let's go. No, it'd be a blast. Just keep it positive. I mean, I can't tell you enough. We play at Tecolote, and it's an awesome league, and it gets super competitive. But talking to parents,
super competitive down there.
Super competitive. And I like to sit there and be a dad and smile and watch, and you just got to remember how hard this game is. This game is so hard. So when we get upset with our kids for missing a ground ball or making a bad throw, just remember we want our kids to keep playing the game a long time. Encourage them, teach them, coach them. I mean, it's the same stuff we're doing with 18 to 22-year-olds. You got to keep teaching them and keep encouraging them to get out there and get better and work at it, and don't blow them up. I mean, that's the last thing you want to do, and then those poor kids run the other way. So I think it's awesome, because I'm sure you're at 7:45 in the morning sitting there pinching yourself like, this is great. He's taking ground balls. He wants to hit.
Yeah.
And keep that going. Keep that momentum going, because you don't want to get to a point, obviously you know this, Woodsy, but you don't want to get to a point where it's like, God, he's 10 years old and he doesn't want to play anymore, and I've seen it a lot, I'll tell you that. So.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Last thing for me, Coach.
That
that's awesome. Last thing for me, Coach. We cover obviously the Padres a ton, as you hear, and we always have to keep in perspective. Such a long season, 162 games. It's a grind, but college baseball is different. You guys play about 50 games, and then you get to the this point where it's double elimination, and it's totally different. It's almost more like football at this point. How does the mentality change here at the end when you get to like postseason elimination matchups?
Well, I think it's keeping it consistent. And that's why, selfishly, I love college baseball because every game does matter. And, with a 50-game, 56-game season, and you got the playoffs, you can't change, okay, it's the playoffs, so we got to do everything different, and this game means everything. I'll tell you, because, these kids are smart. They know it. They know it means everything. But if we can keep it consistent with the process day in and day out, and you're going to get them to play normal. You're going to get them to play like they can, right? And I got this from Coach Lav, and I love it. It's like you just don't want your players to be paralyzed. Don't paralyze your players. Let them be free. Play consequence-free, and, again, go out there and have the time of your life and just play aggressive and play hard. So that's kind of our message. And you're right, it is like a football season, but you got to love it, man. You got to love it. You got to love watching college baseball. The passion, right?
Absolutely. USD Toreros, Oregon Ducks, noon today, ESPNU, and then Braden will have the call at usdtoreros.com. Coach Ungricht, good luck to your guys. Hopefully get through this weekend, get to a super regional, and finally, let's get over that San Diego curse and get your team to the College World Series this year.
Let's go. You guys go with us. Let's go.
Oh, that would be fun. Omaha, I'd love to do that. Awesome, Coach. Good luck, man. Thank you.
Ben Woods, you're the man. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Brock Ungricht, head coach of the USD Toreros, and we wish their team the best of luck. And they do have some amazing players. And, by the way, Jacob Christian won't be the only one who gets his name called in the draft from the USD Toreros this summer. I'm sure AJ and some of his scouts have spent plenty of time at Fowler Park this season because that team is loaded with talent. All right.
I told you guys I've been to the College World Series back in high school. It was 2007, and it was old Rosenblatt Stadium. My travel ball team, we got to play in a 12-day tournament in Omaha and Lincoln, all around that area. And so we would play, 2 games in the morning and afternoon, and then go to the College World Series game at night. And it was one of the most fun experiences of my entire life. Like, the College World Series, extremely underrated sporting event if you can ever get out there.
It's cool because, like the Little League World Series, it's the same spot every year. It doesn't move around like the Final Four. So there's a whole culture in Omaha that surrounds college baseball in particular, and it's like it's hallowed grounds for the teams that make it to the final 8 teams make it to the College World Series every year. So hopefully USD can be one of them.
Yeah, Benny, lay out the path, if you would, quickly.
All right, so
USD.
You're in a 4. So there's 64 teams, like the NCAA tournament kind of. They're grouped into 4-team regionals with a host school. In USD's case, it's UC Santa Barbara, and then 3 others. USD's the 2 seed, Oregon's the 3 seed, and I think Fresno State's the 4 seed. So whoever makes it through the 4 without 2 losses, double elimination, last team standing, then advances to next weekend where you'll take on one other team in a best-of-3 series. That's called the Super Regional. The last 16 teams, they square off, and then those 8 winners advance the following week to the College World Series, where it's a brand-new double elimination tournament in Omaha to crown the final champion.
Gnarly road, yeah, for sure. Gnarly road ahead. Really, I saw some of the other teams that are in the 64. I mean, some true powerhouse programs, Texas and teams like that. It's gonna be awesome, man. Pulling for that guy. I'm over caffeinated this morning, and I know he sounded a little over caffeinated as well.
Yeah, I'm sure he was up early for sure with a big day like this.
Guaranteed.
So if you listened yesterday to Don't Do This, we talked about Jorge Lopez of the New York Mets, the relief pitcher who got ejected, got frustrated, tossed his glove into the stands, was DFA'd by the Mets, had said some comments after the game that was quoted in the media saying, yeah, I play for the worst team in Major League Baseball. Well,
right.
He's come back and with a statement and goes, that was a bit of a language barrier. I was saying I was the worst teammate, not on the worst team in baseball. And Jake Mintz of Cespedes Family Barbecue wrote a really good, interesting piece about that. He's going to make his weekly appearance with us next. We'll talk about that and more coming up after this on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, my friends, we are halfway home on a Friday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. It is Woodsy here, broadcasting from my home base for the last day. We'll be back in on Monday. Paulie Reindl, the executive producer, and Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. We are all together, semi. As I mentioned, I'm off site, but great to be here with you this morning. Been a fun show. Really enjoyed that convo with Coach Brock Ungricht, and fired up for his team, man. I was trying to put myself in the heads of his players today, and what a cool moment it is for those kids, man. So definitely pulling for them. Would love to see them move on. That would be incredible.
Yeah, and we're going right into our next guest because it is a Friday. That means it's a Cespedes Family Barbecue Friday, presented by Grand Ole Barbecue. And joining us right now is Jake Mintz. We got him on our YouTube stream as well. Jake, good morning. Happy Friday to you. Do you get into the College World Series as well as a baseball fan? We were just talking about it.
I am so excited. Squeeze Play on ESPN with Mike Rooney, where it's literally every single game at the same time. They've got like
the Red
16
Zone
going on simultaneously. It's like Red Zone times 85. It's unbelievable. I absolutely love it. I will be locked into it all day long. The college game is messy and electric and thrilling, and I highly recommend it to anybody who loves baseball.
You know, you and Jordan always make me feel so bad about myself because...
Yeah, you should feel bad.
I do, and I do. God, man, like, I love baseball so much, and I watch as much as I possibly can, and then I always realize, I will never come close to consuming the amount of baseball that you guys do. It's insane.
I mean, the reason that I do that is because I feel so bad about myself, so
that's fair.
That's fair. Kind of evening out. Though just to highlight one or two things for the college side. Obviously, all the big draft prospects will be playing. There's like a top 8 kind of consensus top 8 college players in this year's draft. They're all in the playoffs. Big exciting ones. Charlie Condon at Georgia, Travis Bazzana at Oregon State. He's from Australia, so that's kind of fun. And then the 2 top pitchers, Chase Burns at Wake Forest, is super fun. And then lastly, Hagen Smith at Arkansas is a hard-throwing lefty. Then one dude at LSU, this is super cool. LSU has a undersized infielder from Albuquerque, New Mexico, who grew up loving Alex Bregman and is like, that makes me feel ancient.
I mean, this was a year ago. It was Paul Skeens' hour in college baseball. And now, of course, he's taken MLB by storm. Jake Mintz is with us. Now, you're not just making Woods feel bad. You're trying to make everybody in baseball feel bad about how they treated Jorge Lopez.
Baseball media, I think.
Baseball media, yeah.
And I will say that we actually did not pile on Jorge Lopez. We did mention it in our Don't Do This segment, but I think we both said, he got frustrated. Tossing a glove into the stands is not a capital offense. I mean, it's frustrated. He walked off. And then what he said, there was obviously some language issues in there. You wrote about it for Yahoo Sports today, about the reaction to Jorge Lopez and what he did or did not say. Give us your take on the Mets, or now former Mets reliever.
Well, it's a bummer. The whole thing is a bummer, right? There are no winners here. Jorge Lopez did not, frankly, conduct himself well. I think that is true. Throwing your glove into the stands in anger is a bad look. Yes, I understand that Bryce Harper was once ejected and threw his helmet into the stands and a little kid caught it and everyone was happy. That feels like a particularly rare case. This was ugly, especially within the context of how bad the Mets have been and how giving up a homer and getting ejected. It was all just a bad look. However, for all the criticism you could levy on him for how he handled himself on the field, he deserves the same amount of grace off the field. You watch that video of him talking, and there are 2 things that are very apparent to me. One, the language barrier is playing a role. He is either not totally understanding the questions that are asked of him, and he is not properly responding to those questions, right? And that's a fact. 2, that is not someone who is okay. And I think that in sports, we will always want accountability from athletes who fail, but it is an important reminder that these are human beings, right? And yes, they are human beings making more money than all of us will ever smell in our lives. But still, these are human beings going through real things behind the scenes that we might not always know. And there's a lot more to Jorge Lopez and his story than this particular moment of anger. And I just hope that moving forward, there's more empathy involved when an athlete is struggling with something like this.
Yeah, and I read the article this morning, and we had updated the story as it came out yesterday. Boomer Esiason had apologized, I guess, and said that his son is suffering from a pretty gnarly disease and was awaiting a transplant. And I said it on the air. I couldn't broadcast. There's just no way. My 6-year-old sitting right in front of me right now. There's no way I could come in and do this job and talk OPS plus and all that, much less go out and try to get Shohei Ohtani out. But what I didn't realize is that he's had a history in the past of not really being able to deal with failure very well. And nothing extreme or anything like that, but speak on that a little bit if you could.
Yeah, so just, talking to some people who have been around him in the past, like there's a pattern of him struggling to handle bad outings. And I think that's something that many athletes have, and we don't see that as much because the guys who struggle with bad outings to that extent will often get weeded out up the minor league chain. Lopez, has at moments in his career been good at handling failure and has overcome that and was an all-star in 2022. But he is certainly a player who benefits more from a specific environment that empowers him to succeed. And that did not seem to be the case in Queens for one reason or another. And now he is an adult and he has to take some level of responsibility. You cannot forgive him entirely, right? However, I just think that we have human beings in sports who've done so many worse things than this that don't get our vitriol. And I think that this is a man going through a tough period who deserves some grace.
I do think if there's one major failure, though, a lot of people have blamed the media as well for how they've handled it. But I saw a video of like reporter double asking him and like, please, did you say team or teammate? And he kind of goes, both. And they tried to at least check it. If there's a failure here, it's the New York Mets for hanging him out to dry in that clubhouse by himself without any, support system in place at that moment.
Like, players have the option. They don't have to stay out there when
they
the
can
media is available.
They can hide. They can go to the training room. It happens all the time.
But I would have thought the PR staff would have just pulled him aside and be like, hey, man, go hang out in the players' lounge. Go get some work done. Like, let's let this blow over.
Yes. So there's a couple of different aspects here. One, he should have showered at the least, right? Time to cool down. Take a second. I understand an hour had passed, but it was clear that people who were there, I actually left in the 8th inning of that game like an idiot. People who were there, like, this was not someone who was dealing with this situation well, who was prepared to communicate it to other people. From the Mets perspective, it's complicated, right? Because you cannot it's a bad look to force a translator onto a player. And Lopez is someone who has not wanted to use a translator over the last couple of years, which kudos to him. If he wants to work on his English, like, that's a good thing, right? So the Mets can't just go in and say, you had a bad day, you need to use this translator. The way that the situation should have been handled, however, is in the moment when it's obvious that he's struggling to communicate in this particular situation, somebody should have stepped in and said, hey, I think we're having some issues here. Let's get a translator, or can we take a second and come back in a few minutes? And that's a difficult thing to do, right? That's hard to read that situation. Moments that are like that, they speed up on you as a person. And so I think the Mets definitely should have handled this better. However, I can understand why it went down the way that it did. And the Mets were certainly less incentivized to jump on the grenade and protect this guy if they were considering cutting him. If this had been a player who was more integral to their future, like, Edwin Diaz, theoretically, it doesn't go down like that, right? There's more support being offered, for sure.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. That's the really unfortunate part about it. Talking to our pal Jake Mintz from Cespedes Family Barbecue here. And, speaking of Edwin Diaz, the story came out last week, and I don't even know if we hit it. We probably forgot. But, him essentially breaking down at his locker after, the highest highs for Edwin Diaz a couple of years ago. And to be broken down at his locker, I think he had blown like his 3rd straight save or something. And I think they eventually put him on the IL. I think he's on the IL right now. But what is happening in New York with that team with the #1 highest payroll?
Yeah, it's just a bummer, man. And I think that the issue is Steve Cohen, their owner, when he bought the team, set expectations really high. and said we want to be like the Dodgers, right? We want to spend a lot of money, but we want to spend a lot of money on infrastructure. And I think the infrastructure for the Mets has improved over the last couple of years. We're just not seeing any of that at the big league level. And every time that the Mets try and not Mets, they end up Metsing harder. When they try and rectify their reputation, they end up getting in their own way. As far as Edwin Diaz is concerned, you guys are freaking old. You know, like when you get older, your body stops being able to do the things it could when you were younger. Like Woods, can you touch your toes? Probably not.
No,
so,
no chance.
No.
I never could, so I have not gotten older in that sense.
Yeah, so my point there is like Diaz is not at a point right now where his body is disintegrating, but he had a big injury and he probably can't move exactly the way that he could before he exploded his leg. And so that's really difficult to do. I pitched in college and was not very good, but got Tommy John. And to this day, I can't really straighten my right arm above my head and it bums me out. And so imagine that times 50 if you're the closer for the New York Mets.
Jake, I don't know how much you've seen about what's going on with the Padres, and
I don't know who those people are. I don't know what that is.
Well, they've won 7 of 9 series, which is good, I'm told, but they continue to really spin their wheels in the standings, just a game above 500, and it kind of it created a bit of a moment after Wednesday's loss to the Marlins when Mike Shildt pushed back forcefully against a couple of reporters' questions about being unable to, get over a rough patch or kind of a roller coaster, kind of going up and down. And it really has led to some interesting conversations about this team. Are they a good team? Are they not a good team? Where do the San Diego Padres stand right now? And I wanted to get your more perspective from, the other side of the country on this one.
We don't know. Call me in a month. It's May 31st and the Padres are in a playoff spot. They're squarely mediocre. But the rest of the National League is mediocre too. They're in the mix, and that's all that matters. The first couple of months of the season are not imploding. And you saw that very well last year. Okay. And I think that I would say the Padres grade to this point is incomplete. And that's okay. That's fine. We're 2 months in.
Yes.
I think there are reasons to question how good this team really is. I don't think they've shown anything that says they can win the World Series right now. That could change. But as far as being a playoff team that could piss somebody off in a wild card round, yeah, totally. Absolutely could do that. And that's fine.
I sign up for it right now, by the way. Just FYI. 100%. Sign up for pissing off somebody in a wild card game. Everybody agree?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
100%. I mean, it's not my ceiling, but I absolutely signed on the dotted line for that today, Jake. Appreciate you very much, my friend. Thanks for jumping on with us today, and it was a really, really beautiful piece that you wrote for Yahoo.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Look, as someone who pissed off a lot of people once in an NLDS, pissing someone off in a wild card game is worth your
time. Spoken by the master himself, Jake Mintz. Thank you, buddy.
Peace and love.
Jake Mintz, Cespedes Family Barbecue, Yahoo Sports, and, of course, brought to you each week here by our friends at Grand Ole Barbecue, Flint Springs, North Park, and, of course, at the ballpark, at Petco Park. Of course, you'll have to wait until the next homestand for that one as the Padres are hitting the road for the next 6 games in Kansas City and Anaheim against the Los Angeles Angels. A little interleague play for your San Diego Padres. I think there's a lot of interleague series going on right now, if I'm not mistaken, in baseball over these next few days. So we'll see a little different competition than usual, and we'll talk some more Padres baseball coming up. Also, don't forget, it's a Friar Friday. Mike Shildt is going to be with us at 9 o'clock, all coming up. Don't go anywhere. More Ben and Woods coming up after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. This hour, 97.3 The Fan, is brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. If you're ready for a new job, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is your one connection for a summer job in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to expresspros.com to find your location. That's expresspros.com. Thanks again to Jake Mintz from Cespedes Family Barbecue. More baseball talk here on Ben and Woods. And again, Mike Shildt and our Friar Friday Managers Report coming up at the top of the hour. Now, Woodsy, who's still isolated at his home, was not here on Wednesday when we talked about Jeremiah Estrada's 13 straight strikeouts. A streak that continues and will be picked up the next time he goes into a game. I would love to see it happen tonight in Kansas City, see if he can get it to 14 in a row. But I assume you were watching the game.
Yes.
It was electric. I was there. Chris Ello was talking about it on the roundtable yesterday. He was there. Chris says, I never stay for the end, but I had to stay to see if he would get in and continue that streak. And it was so it was impressive of Padres fans because they were kind of aware. They were into it, and even though it wasn't it was a 4-0 game, it wasn't even a save situation. It felt like a Trevor Hoffman moment coming out to get a giant save for the San Diego Padres. And as each strikeout happened, the roars just got louder and louder. Every pitch, it felt like a no-hitter almost. Like the drama of every pitch was so intense to see if he could keep the ball from being put into play at all, and he did. And it was so cool, that moment on Tuesday night, Woods.
Yeah, you live for those moments, man, and there was such a lack of moments last year with this team, and we've already seen some cool stuff happen this year at Petco Park and certainly with this ball club. And that's it, man. I mean, if you can't find joy in that as a Padres fan, I don't know what to tell you. That's a really special story. Guy DFA'd by the Cubs and picked up by A.J. Preller. All the credit in the world for snagging that guy. And, you see what he's done, Benny, and you wonder, why was he ever in AAA at all to start the season? I know he was on the roster for the Korea series, but holy smokes, man, the stuff is electric from that kid, and, nowhere to go but up from him, man. He looks phenomenal.
Well, and I think this is a case of investments that a team makes behind the scenes paying some dividends, because one of the things that's been written about, and Jeff Sanders had some of it in the UT, he went to the new biomechanics lab, the PLNU, Padres biomechanics lab. We went to the grand opening, and he used that facility during the offseason to test new, grips for his changeup, like the Vulcan grip, to see which one would get the best spin and movement, and, developed that pitch during the offseason with the help of some of the new technologies that the Padres have invested in, and they're trying to be more on the cutting edge rather than the trailing edge when it comes to at least this biomechanics lab that they've set up here in San Diego. And I mean, it's already apparently paying some dividends for the Padres. And give Ruben Niebla a lot of the credit as well. He was there that day. I know you talked to him, Woods, about the value of that, and especially when you have a pitching coach like Ruben Niebla, who has basically insisted on every new pitcher, even Dylan Cease, when he has arrived to the San Diego Padres, I want you to learn a new pitch. We want you to add one more pitch to your repertoire to make you that much more dangerous and nasty. And to Cease's credit, to Estrada's credit, they have mostly embraced that challenge from Ruben Niebla to try to, whether it's a sweeper, different changeups, stuff that they've been adding to it, and it's starting to pay some dividends for the Padres.
Well, except for Robert Suarez. They said we need you to unlearn every other pitch that you've ever known or thought about throwing, and just throw four seamers, up in the zone, away, in, and just locate it and be dominant. What a nice little 1-2 punch in the 8th and the 9th. Again, somebody made the point the other day, Suarez goes 2 days in a row and Estrada doesn't. I mean, how nice is it to have a guy that has that kind of stuff as like a backup closer, essentially? But, yeah, in a perfect world, in a close game, it's Estrada in the 8th and Suarez in the 9th, and turn a 9-inning game into a 7-inning game. And, God, I mean, it's so much fun when that happens and everything is clicking. And right now, those two guys have been really the highlights of the season for me.
And while you're right, they have used Estrada, he closed that game that one time when they brought in Suarez in the 8th, and you have him like on Tuesday when if Suarez has gone 2 days in a row. The Padres bullpen now should be fairly rested after the day off yesterday and at full strength going into this game. We haven't really seen Mike Shildt have the full lineup of, okay, if we've got a 1-run or 2-run lead going into late in the game, we're setting up for Estrada in the 8th, Suarez in the 9th. That shortens a game tremendously right now for the Padres. If I'm on the Royals, if I'm facing the Padres, I feel like I better have a lead after 6 or 7 innings, or my chances at winning have gone down to microscopic proportions right now, knowing who I'm going to have to face in those last couple of innings. That's a real advantage for the Padres now with a set up bullpen going into the start of this road trip.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, and honestly, what you'd love to see from Dylan Cease tonight is 6, 7 strong innings that he's very capable of. Again, against a really good lineup, tough outs up and down, but I mean, he's got elite stuff too, and I know he hasn't been pitching at his very best his last couple starts out, but we need him. He's can be the ace of this staff. He's got ace type stuff and needs to pitch like one tonight certainly, and he's going to have Michael Wacha going up against his former teammates. Everybody's seen him. Everybody knows what he's got. He's been really good against the Padres in his career. That was all with St. Louis, but yeah, man, obviously a different team now. But yeah, you know what you're going to see from Michael Wacha. It's a lot of change-ups. He's going to keep guys out in front, and it's a challenge, man. Every one of these, and Reagan's again on Sunday is going to be nasty. Like, it's going to be a tough series. But again, I love the matchup between these two teams. They feel a little similar to me.
By the way, over the last 2 weeks, so since May 17th, here's your Padres' main bullpen usage ERAs. Johnny Brito, 2.25 ERA. Robert Suarez, 1.42 ERA. Remember, he gave up that one solo home run. Otherwise, that's the only run he's allowed. Yuki Matsui, 0 ERA, 5 1/3 innings. Jeremiah Estrada, 0 ERA, 6 2/3 innings. Adrian Morejon, 0 ERA, 5 innings. Wandy Peralta, 0 ERA, 4 innings. So that's 6 guys who've been pitching really well out of the pen. That's, you could put Peralta, Matsui in the 7th now at this point.
Yeah.
It's a dangerous weapon that Mike Shildt has, at least at this point in the season. And Jeremiah Estrada just lengthens everything, just gives you more options all over the place with what he's been able to do and emerge for the San Diego Padres.
100%. He's been electric, man. I love this bullpen lately. Like you said, they've been a real strength of this team. If we can get the offense going a little bit, man, I like our chances in this series and beyond.
All right, let's take a timeout because we got the manager's report coming up, and we want to save the 9 o'clock hour for Friar Friday. Get a little early Reindl Report, get some headlines from Paulie, see what else is going on.
Oh, I got a surprise for you, boys.
Okay, that is
surprises
coming up next with Ben Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hey, good morning, guys. It is Woodsy. Happy Friday to you. Wanted to let you know all about the Frozen Ropes Summer Baseball League. Very excited about it. My 6-year-old is 5 feet away from me. Bo, you excited for Frozen Ropes? Yeah, he nods his head. We're on the radio. You got to say yes. Yes. Yeah, there it is. All right. Yeah, they're registering players right now, ages 6 through 12, 8 practices, 8 games. Professional coaching starts on June 3rd.
crossing our fingers for Kansas City weather. I was just checking the old weather.com forecast for Kansas City hour by hour. Today, Padres are scheduled to start at 5:10. Heavy rain around 2, but then it's just showers every single hour the rest of the day until around 10 o'clock p.m. when it goes to light showers.
10 o'clock local time in Kansas
City. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Cool.
I don't know. I mean, it all says like 50% chance of showers the entire time, but it's all day. There's like no let up in the forecast. So I guess we'll find out later today. Keep listening to 97.3 The Fan for updates. And Sammy Levitt, I'm sure we'll have them on the Eco Water SoCal Padres pregame show at 4:10. But
Out of all the sports, you can't obviously play basketball in the rain, but NFL, MLB, soccer, like baseball's the worst for rain, right?
Yes.
Like by far?
It's terrible. Yes. I mean, rainouts are just the
sucks for the fans. Sucks for the players.
It's terrible.
But you can't really. I mean, you can't. The gloves getting wet is bad, and balls getting wet is bad.
Change the ball out every pitch.
It's the ball. It's just the worst sport in the rain that there is. And I know, football players. You guys are soft. I get it. Fine. Like, it is just. It's miserable. It's a miserable experience playing in any bit of rain. Golf is not fun either in the rain by a long shot.
No, that's true.
It's terrible. But yeah, man, with baseball, it's the you're those games where it's like, oh, there's a 2-hour window. We may be able to get some of it in, and it's like, oh, I got to go through my normal routine, and then I may not pitch today or whatever. It's so routine based with 162 games. It just throws everything out of whack. So it doesn't look good. Like Benny said, we're gonna cannibalize ourselves without 48 hours without Padres baseball.
But most teams do have to deal with this. Padres deal with it a lot less, considering the weather that we get on the West Coast. But most teams will deal with this at least a couple of times over the course of the season. Mets and Dodgers just had to play a doubleheader in their last series because of a rainout in New York. This is just especially this time of year in the Midwest. I think you get a lot of showers kind of in that May, June area of the year before it gets really, really hot. So we'll kind of keep you updated, I'm sure, throughout the day. I'm sure Annie and Elston will have some updates as well before we get to the pregame show. We're going to check traffic, and then when we come back, Paulie says he's got a surprise for us here in the Reindl Report, which we always look forward to Paulie's surprises. So that's coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Got a collision being cleared from the Kelton Road on-ramp to westbound King Freeway. It's over the right shoulder. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows a collision in the North County, south of T before Via Rancho Parkway. They are attempting to clear that out of the left lanes. Change the way you see the world at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park, whether you're eye-to-eye with Sumatran tigers or soaring high above giraffes and rhinos. Every adventure helps support wildlife worldwide. Visit today and see conservation from a new perspective. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right. It is the Reindl Report brought to you by the Frozen Ropes Summer Baseball League. Frozen Ropes is now registering ball players age 6 through 12. Go to San Diego Frozen Ropes.com for more information.
Enjoy this Reindl Report. It's your last until Wednesday.
Yes.
We'll have a Klug report on Monday and an Italian Paul Reindl report maybe on Tuesday.
Perfect.
So,
I love it.
F1, obviously, and
yes,
something to do with the Mets probably. But
Adam will do towel talk.
Finish with a strong one here before you head to Vegas.
We'll hear from Adam Klug before the end of today's show. Just stick around for that.
Yep. Yeah, don't miss it.
All right, we will start off in the world of football. It was announced yesterday that the Chicago Bears will be in the spotlight during training camp. They will be the team featured on HBO's Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I screwed up a couple weeks ago. I thought it was going to be the Giants, but
no, the Giants
were
the off-season.
The off-season, okay.
Mini
Yeah,
camps,
I think I bricked
OTAs,
that one.
stuff like that, yeah. There's so much criteria that goes into which teams are even eligible for Hard Knocks. First-year coaches, they don't have to be in it. If you made the playoffs in the previous year, if you've been on it in the last 5 years or something like that. So,
maybe they should just make it that the team that picks first in the draft has to do it every single time.
Yeah.
It's like an incentive not to finish first. It's not to be the worst team in football because you'll know you have to do Hard Knocks.
But you get the number one pick.
But you get the number one pick in the draft.
That's the price to pay, yeah. Obviously, a lot of appeal there with Caleb Williams under center for the Bears. You guys, I have not... I like Hard Knocks. I really do. And we used to get into it a lot on this show. We would have full segments, the following morning about it. I just haven't watched the last couple of years.
Because it's run its course. It was a great idea, and it was very fascinating to see the curtain pulled back a little bit. But it's always kind of the same stuff over and over again, and now it's getting more contrived. And
I think part of it is with social media just having evolved as much as it has over the last, let's call it 10 years. Every team has a social media crew. They're giving you their behind-the-scenes footage.
Yeah,
so
we get enough.
It's a little too much at this point. Hard Knocks doesn't really offer. I mean, it's great production value, sure, but they don't offer a whole lot else. That if you're a fan of whatever team in the NFL, you subscribe to all the channels, you get all of the behind-the-scenes footage already. So. You're not really missing a whole lot.
I don't think I'm going to watch a second of this one, probably.
Ben,
I think I'm done with it.
Would it surprise you? I was talking to Tier 1 Brett. He's on the Tier 1 baseball team, and he's a USC guy. And I said, look, I'm actually rooting for Caleb Williams pretty hard. That's probably the first USC quarterback I've ever rooted for because I think this kid got such a raw deal with some of the coverage nationally of him. I'm actually pulling for him, and I love Chicago. Chicago's a great city, and a lot of friends that are Bears fans still. I want him to succeed. I really do. I'm pulling for him. Is that weird?
That's a little unusual for you.
I've gotten soft in my old age.
I agree with you that some of the criticism of Caleb Williams was over the top and unwarranted, but he won a Heisman Trophy. I mean, he got plenty of attention at USC. And he got to be the number one pick. And then he went to the team that drafted him. There was really no drama in the end about Caleb Williams and who he played for. And he went on a very normal course to the NFL from a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback to the first pick in the draft to playing for the team that drafted him. Great.
I'll be rooting for him.
All right. You guys ready for a little surprise? So earlier in the show, this was during Don't Do This, we played some of that just terrible. Darren Waller, NFL player, came out with a music video and a song talking about his split with his ex-wife, Kelsey Plum. It was... It was not good. That's all I can handle from that song. But you guys were talking about auto-tune and how does it work? What would it sound like? So I've been quiet for the last hour or so because I've been in the Beat Laboratory, and here's Ben, not Ben and Woods, just Ben.
A shocker
on auto-tune.
Fired up. Blue moon, blue moon, blue moon.
Oh my God.
Dip, blue, 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 blue moon. Dip, 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 blue, 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 blue moon. Dip, 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 bump, 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 dang, 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 dong, dang. Blue moon. Fantastic. It never sounded better.
You have never sounded. You sounded so much better a cappella.
Why does anyone use the auto-tune? It just makes things sound worse, as far as I can tell.
That made that song. That was a beautiful rendition that you did. sound a million times. I would like to hear Darren Waller's raw audio and wonder if
help Ben, he's drowning.
I mean, yeah, you play it again. He sounds like he's underwater.
Blue moon, blue moon, blue moon. Dip, 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 blue, 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 blue moon. Dip, 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 blue, 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 blue moon. Dip, 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 bump, 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 dang, 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 dong, dang. Blue moon.
My dude literally sounds like he's in a pool, gasping for his last breath. Just holy crap, dude! Oh, that was so good, so good. Drowning Ben.
Oh my God!
God, that's brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually down for Paulie to spend his vacation going back through every song Ben has ever sung and doing that.
I'm going to have to take another vacation for
Take
that.
another vacation and just do that. Paulie, I would like to hear all of them in auto-tune, just for the write it down as something we need down the road.
I mean, it was just like, here's the Darren Waller guy. He had like the weird music behind him, so I was
so
like,
weird.
all right, well, I got to find a beat now, and you got to set it all up.
Blue moon, blue moon, blue moon. Dip, 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 blue, 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 blue.
Like you're expecting Ben to come on with some hard-hitting verse.
Yeah.
Nope, Blue Moon.
Just him doing Blue Moon underwater. Brilliant.
We've talked about this story the last day or two off the air.
Yeah,
but
this is great.
We got to bring this up. This has gone completely viral. You've probably seen or heard about this, but there was a guy in Michigan. I didn't know that they were still doing virtual court hearings on Zoom. I thought that
Same.
was just, the I'm not a cat guy or something from the pandemic, but still doing Zoom court appearances if you can't make it in person. And there was a story, this actually happened on May 15th, but the footage has all come out over the last few days here, of a guy who had to appear via Zoom in court for charges on a suspended driver's license. And I'm going to play the video on the YouTube stream here, and I'm going to play the audio if you're driving around in your car. Just listen to this. The reaction from the judge is just incredible.
It's incredible.
Assistant Public Defender Natalie Tate for Mr. Harris, who should be present via Zoom.
Oh, he is.
Mr. Harris, are you driving?
He's in his car on Zoom.
Actually, I'm pulling into my doctor's office, actually. So just give me 1 second. I'm parking right now.
The judge already has a look on his face.
My man's just pulling into a parking lot.
He drops his.
You stationary?
I'm pulling in right now at this second. Yes, I am.
Oh, my God.
All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, we are respectfully requesting an adjournment in this matter, up possibly 2 to 4 weeks if the court would allow.
So maybe I don't understand something. This is a driving while license suspended?
Yes.
That is correct, Your Honor.
And he was just driving. And
the guy's face.
He didn't have a license.
The guy's face looks like he saw a ghost.
Is with the charges, Your Honor, yes.
No, I'm looking at his
Yes.
record.
That's his lawyer.
He doesn't have a license. He's suspended and he's just driving.
Yes.
That is correct, Your Honor.
Yep.
I don't even know why he would do that. So defendant's bond is revoked.
They just
in
cut
this matter.
the man's
Defendant is to
Zoom.
turn himself into the Washington County Jail by 6 p.m. today. Failure to turn himself in will result in a bench warrant with no bond.
Yeah. I mean, you took a bad situation and you made it absolutely worse. You were on Zoom driving a car on a suspended license, about to go to court for said suspended license, and it's I mean, can't wrap my head around it.
Like, turn the camera off, maybe just be like, "Oh, hang on 1 second.
I'm walking outside.
I'm here. I'm just walking to get to a quiet area."
Yeah.
No, he's just in the front seat of his car, got the seatbelt on.
Hang on, I just need to finish robbing this bank, and then I'll be right back to my court hearing.
I mean, the attorney, what do you say if you're the attorney and you're like, Your Honor, I throw the book at him. I really don't know what to tell you. I mean, it is just his face, though. It will be a meme forever. He looks and he's just like, oh yeah, that was
another
not
good
smart.
point by Jeff. He goes, was that Ron Washington moonlighting as a judge? Yeah, the
just
judge
like
had
him.
a very Wash-esque look to him, like, and that just face of incredulity, I guess is the word. Like, what?
Yeah.
What an idiot.
I mean,
Yeah, so now the dude's got to go to the doctor, right? And then by 6 o'clock that night, he's got to turn himself in, or else it's going to get a lot worse for him. Holy cow. It is just one of the dumber criminals that you will find. That's why, you shouldn't be driving around on a suspended license, obviously, but holy cow, I don't want to say great story, but it's good content. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my Lord. Incredible. Thank you, Paulie.
You're welcome.
Last Reindl Report until your trip to Las Vegas.
What's on the agenda?
Yeah, that's what
for
I was
Vegas?
just about to ask.
What is on the agenda? We'll be getting in. We got an early flight Sunday morning, so we'll be in our hotel by 10:30, which is great.
Yeah,
Get
early
the full
check-in,
day.
or are you just gonna leave your bags maybe at the
Probably
desk?
end up just leaving our bags if we have to. We didn't have any trouble last time. We're staying at the same hotel we stayed at last year. It's called Nomad, and it's inside of Park MGM. It's like a hotel within a hotel, little boutique hotel. It's phenomenal. We love it. And so, yeah, they have no problem just storing our bags if our room's not ready. But what is on the agenda? We're going to this place called Best Friend for dinner on Sunday night. It's Chef Roy Choi. Korean barbecue, like street food.
Yeah, he's like a food truck legend in Los Angeles.
It
He has a spot
looks unbelievable.
in the Park MGM. Yep.
I made Megan redeem some of our Vegas rewards points to get day passes to the New York roller coaster that she does not want to ride on, but I have never ridden on that, so I would like to do that.
Mike Shildt is going to dispute you referring to it as a roller coaster. though.
That's true.
The super positive, fun ride. What do we do? I think we're going to go to the -5 ice bar that we've both never been to, where you put on the parka and everything is made of ice and the cups are made of ice and it's like 5 degrees in there.
Yeah,
it's supposed
5
to be
minutes in there is max you can
well, it's going to be 105 outside.
Yeah, it feels
so.
good
It's true.
when you've been outside, and you do a lot of walking when you're in Vegas too.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, have a good time,
Can't
Paulie.
wait.
We'll come back. It is our manager's report on a Friday. Mike Shildt going to join us from Kansas City next year on 97.3 The Fan. Do not go anywhere. Final hour of the week. Hope it's been a good one for everyone. Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Crossing our fingers for Padres baseball later today in Kansas City. And it is time right now for the Manager's Report. Joining us, Mike Shildt, brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking. It's better. Skip, how was the off day in Kansas City? I know we found out you're a Chipotle guy. Are you a barbecue guy? Do you try any Kansas City barbecue while you're on the road?
I haven't. I will for sure. I am a barbecue guy, being from North Carolina and now living in Eastern North Carolina. Which barbecue in North Carolina is like a divided state because you got mustard base and vinegar base, and it's a big deal. So, yeah, we'll try a little barbecue while we're here.
People are very serious about their I'm from Texas, so I have my tastes, Skip, and people, they don't mess around. And I went to Kansas City a couple years ago and had their barbecue. And like everybody, you try it and you go, yeah, but it's not as good as where I'm from.
That's right.
Every time. Right. Yeah. Every time.
People take their barbecue serious. It supports the country. And fact of the matter, though, end of the day, it's all pretty darn good.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So how is the weather looking there? I know you got to keep an eye a little bit on the forecast, at least in terms of what you're going to do pitching. We talked about that before with the doubleheader you guys had in Atlanta, but did hear there was some rain in the forecast today.
Yeah, I looked at the forecast, and I think we're going to be fine for the game. I think we're going to get something, according to what I saw, perhaps sometime later in the mid-afternoon, but I think we'll be in good shape to play some baseball tonight.
Well, talking to the Skip. Oh, go ahead, Benny.
I just wanted to jump in just because before we get to anything else, I want to go back to Tuesday night. I was there with my son. It was his 21st birthday, and it was such an electric night at the ballpark. Such a great game. Obviously, Matt Waldron was fantastic. But in the ninth inning, when Jeremiah Estrada came in, and the crowd knew that he had already struck out 10 guys in a row, and he gets 11, 12, and 13. I wanted to ask you just kind of your perspective on that moment and just kind of what you've seen lately out of that kid who, at least kind of from our perspective, has come out of nowhere here to do what he has done in your bullpen.
Well, he's really stepped up, hasn't he? I mean, you talk about, quite an accomplishment that's still going. I mean, pretty remarkable. If you stop, which I have, and appreciated it and think about it. Like, I mean, Steve Carlton, Nolan Ryan, Kerry Wood, Trevor Hoffman. I mean, nobody's done it, and since they've been keeping those records since '61, it's really impressive and good for him and good for us.
No, he's been incredible to watch, and I wondered aloud on the show earlier. I said, I wonder if you guys, what did you see from him when he was sent down after Korea that said, all right, you need to work on this. And obviously, he went and answered the bell, and now fits in perfectly to the back end of your bullpen. But what specifically was he told to kind of focus on when he was sent down?
Well, it really started when we acquired him, and we had the Camp 44 Joe puts together in January, which now looks to be a yearly thing, which is such a big deal for things like this. Jeremiah is a local kid we know, but he came to the camp with, Joe and several other pitchers on the team, and, with Ruben and Ben Fritz, our pitching coach and bullpen coach. And, they got the chance to work with him, and, we knew based on the numbers that you can now, when you acquire people or evaluate people, a part of that is, this guy had an elite fastball. And his secondary pitches were just kind of all running together. So during that week, there was multiple conversations with Jeremiah, with our group, getting to know him. Hey, what do you think? How, is which breaking ball is better for you? It's what we see. And just started that coaching player, process that led into spring training. And then, you wish you could just literally snap your fingers with guys, and players do too, and just like, oh yeah, just do this. And all of a sudden it's, it's magic. It takes time, and to Jeremiah's credit and the staff's credit, worked with him on all these things, continued to work through it in spring training, allowed him to go to AAA to work on it. And then sometimes it does, like, boom, all that work, it does then click. And here we are. So it's been a short journey that's allowed this to happen, which is even more impressive. But he's got plus stuff, and now he's harnessed it.
Talking to Mike Shildt, manager of the San Diego Padres, and as you probably heard, your post-game news conference on Wednesday sparked a lot of conversation the last couple of days here in San Diego, and I think we've gotten to know you well enough that I certainly understand where you're coming from. Team has been playing good baseball lately, and I don't disagree with that. And I don't know anyone that really does, but I did hear Jake in the clubhouse as well say he does feel like there's still another gear that the team can find that it hasn't quite got to yet. Would you agree with Jake's assessment there? And what's that last gear look like to Mike Shildt?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, look, we're always looking to be better. I don't know. Nothing personal. I don't follow a lot of the what takes place outside of what I say or what goes around. I can understand that. Two quick things for me on it is, the first one is, it's not like I don't think there's more. It's not like I don't want more. That's not the case. The reality is I just want this group to be appreciated for a body of work that more recently has been very productive. And it's been a good brand. And just to have somebody to say, hey, the team's actually playing pretty well. As opposed to a feeling that, it's never going to be good enough till we win a World Series. I get that. For me too. That's why we're here. At least that's why I'm here. And so, but over 162 game schedule, and you play good baseball. At least there's some confidence there. You want that. You want to be rewarded for. So that was where I come from. Regarding Jake's statement and my thoughts on that. Yeah, I mean, I think there's just more of the same, right? There is another gear. The gear being when the pitching and the hitting works consistently together, and it has for a fair amount of the last 10 series or so. But there's always a better opportunity for, guys to be healthy, which is clearly important, and guys to be playing at their optimal, and as many of them as possible. But, so when that happens, yeah, there's going to be the, I don't know, 10 out of 10 series in a row,
we hope so.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's why we play, man. But yeah, I think there's more. As always, always talk about being better as we go. But I just want there to be a reward for there has been some good improvement consistently with the club, and that's about it, really.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And I think everybody trying to get to know everybody as well comes into play. And talking to the skipper, Mike Shildt, this morning, of course, I have to ask a Manny question because Manny Machado is my favorite baseball player, and I take grief sometimes from the fan base when he's not producing at the level that we are used to seeing him. It is weird for me to not see him putting balls into the stands, which he's very good at. And I wanted to ask you, his manager, the guy that sees him, multiple hours a day, what about Manny Machado do we not know? The media, because we've talked to him plenty, and he's one thing I can say, he's not a guy that ever panics, and I wish I had some of that in me. It being so confident in yourself and not having that panic. What can you, his manager, tell us about how he's feeling, what he's going through right now, and just maybe a quick story about Manny and his leadership?
Yeah, you're right. He's not a guy that's going to panic. I think that's representative of a lot of our characteristics of our club, and it's a good one. And that's why we can confidently say, and Manny, I'm going to speak for him, can confidently, and the body of work proves itself, right? We know what you're doing. You have talent. You've done it, for a long period of time at the major league level. You have the resource to draw from, so there's no sense of panicking when you have talent, and you've done it for years and been an MVP caliber player. Clearly there's with Manny, what I can see and tell you confidently is Manny's care factor is really, really high. This guy cares about this organization quite a bit, he really wants to do well for this fan base, and for the city of San Diego and everybody that supports the Padres, which continues to grow. And he's very, very sincere about that, and he carries it, I think, very well. But he does feel a sense of having to carry it on his shoulders, and they're wide shoulders, and he does a really good job of it. But I can tell you this: he shows up every day and is dedicated to being prepared to compete and win a baseball game and do what he can to help. And he takes no quarter. He's a good worker. He shows up and he's prepared, and he gets his body ready to go. And the other thing is that he won't alibi and I won't alibi for him, but gosh, man, this guy's coming off of an elbow surgery that affects your the way you compete. Affects the way you throw, affects the way you hit. And yeah, we clearly he's playing and he's past that, but as far as being healthy, but gosh, man, it takes some time to get back in the literal swing of things. And I don't worry about him at all because of his track record. And but I can tell you confidently, this is a guy that sincerely wants to do really well, and sometimes maybe at the detriment, of wanting to do it too much. I think that's part of some of this club that deals with some, the expectations that come around that people have, and they want it so bad that, sometimes, we try not to get in our own way for it.
Mike, how's Yu Darvish doing? I know you mentioned after the game that he was going to have a few more tests, had a bit of a tight hamstring. Is he all right? Are you guys going to have to make a move, or what's that look like right now?
We're still in the process of evaluating it. His turn doesn't take place till Tuesday. More testing taking place. We're just one of those things that literally is, day to day. But we'll see what it looks like for him. We're not going to push him clearly, and then we'll just continue to evaluate it.
You got a pretty tough test. You guys have played really well on the road, Skip, and you got a tough test playing a team that plays really well at home. And I looked at, the matchups. I don't watch a lot of Royals baseball. Of course, I know the big stars and the burgeoning Kansas City. But when you look at this team across the diamond, what do you see out of the Kansas City Royals and what they're doing well this year?
They're doing a lot well. I mean, they're playing the game. They're playing good baseball. They got a nice club, and like you said, they play well at home, and they've got the pitching's been clearly better than it has been for them. They've taken some of the guys that were with us last year with Michael, who we're going to see, Wacha tonight, and Lugo we're not going to see, but it's been a good addition to them and for them, and they're a well-rounded club, and they're playing the game the right way.
I'm curious, when you face a guy like Michael Wacha, or you did with Nick Martinez a couple of times, who, your guys, a lot of them very familiar with his teammates and probably facing in live BP sessions. Do you think that's an advantage for you guys going up against the pitcher, or is it an advantage for the pitcher because he knows the hitter's tendency? Does it have any effect at all in a matchup like tonight's?
Well, we're going to find out. I think it can have some effect. Depends on which way. I mean, it can be definitely a two-way street. I mean, I've known Michael since 2012, when I had him in Double-A. So a lot of history with Michael, and of course I had him in the big leagues as well. And he was on the club last year, some familiarity with, our staff and our players with him. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of secrets of what Michael's going to do. But Michael also knows our club as well. So, we'll have an approach against him, and we know he's going to compete, but we're going to be right there against him. I can tell you that.
Well, keep up the good work. Good work. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say a lot of everyone in there overthinking, right? Thinking that they've got the upper hand. May the best man win, Skip. Certainly appreciate your time this morning. Hope you guys get that one in tonight.
Yeah, I think we will. I appreciate you guys' time too, and y'all have a great morning.
By the way, hold on.
Thanks so
mustard or vinegar, though? You never said which one you prefer.
I'm going to guess vinegar.
You know what?
I'm guessing vinegar.
Yeah, it's a good guess. I mean, if I had
All
to,
right.
I'd probably go with the vinegar base, but Charlotte's like right in the middle of the state, so we border the mustard vinegar war, so you end up acquiring a taste for both.
All right, well, have a great road trip. We'll see you back at Petco Park in a week or so. Mike Shildt, manager of the San Diego Padres.
See you guys.
And that was Mike Shildt, brought to you by San Diego County Credit Union. It's not big bank banking. It is better. You got some reaction there. We will give you some thoughts when we come back, and we will also give away some San Diego County Fair tickets in our next segment. We got one more 4-pack this week, so that is all coming up. Do not go anywhere. More Ben and Woods coming up after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan. All right, thanks again to Mike Shildt, manager of the San Diego Padres, who was optimistic that they would be able to play some baseball later today. So I'll trust him. I mean, he's not a meteorologist, but he is actually there in Kansas City.
But he's there.
I'd imagine that kind of trumps anything else in terms of being on the scene, in terms of knowledge of it. So hopefully there will be baseball at 5:10, 4:10 Eco Water SoCal pregame show. Some interesting comments, I thought, about Manny Machado and your question about kind of Manny behind the scenes, and he did. He dropped a couple of "don't want to alibi it" in that answer. That's one of his signature phrases. But it clearly, Manny, the recovery from the surgery is having an impact on this season, and you can't evaluate long term anything having to do with Manny Machado yet at this moment. He's still in the recovery window, actually, for the procedure. It was October when he got the surgery. So it has now been, let's see, 6, 7, 8. So this will be the 8th month of surgery that normally, I think when they announced it, it's kind of a 6 to 9 month recovery process from that surgery. And while he's, got back and, started working quickly, he's probably not going to feel 100%, at least until late in the year, if not until next season. Completely. Hopefully that's, on the sooner side rather than the later side. But I think it's at this point it's safe to say that you're not going to get an epic career season from Manny Machado this year. Yeah, and
the lightning rod of the team certainly is Manny Machado. There's just no doubt about it. There are people that probably won't be satisfied until he hits the game-winning home run and hoists the trophy, and I understand that as well. I know he's a lightning rod type player. It's part of the reason I love him. Period. He's the best third baseman I've ever laid my eyes on. I'm going to ride for him because I like the dude. I like the way he plays baseball. I'm envious of it, and listen, if it affects my credibility, so be it. This is how you are with your favorite player. We've all had favorite players in our lives, and we've all had to watch them struggle. Our friend Emily Nyman, our Yankee fan friend, said that she was watching Aaron Judge at bats early in the season through her fingers, because he was coming off that toe injury, and she's like, it literally made me sick to my stomach because I love him that much. That's what you have with a favorite fan or a favorite player. And Benny, from your youth, I mean, Tony Gwynn was probably your favorite player, and he delivered. He delivered all of the time. But do you remember somebody else that you rode pretty hard for that you always kind of wanted great things from?
Let's see. Let's see. Who was one of my favorites that I rode hard for?
Hunter Renfroe is a loser.
No, not Hunter. He's on the Kansas City Royals, right?
He is Royal. Yep.
Oh, let's see. I love Tempe, Gary Templeton, and I always pushed hard for him. He came through. He wasn't always an offensive star, but I always felt like Tempe was tough because he was always compared to Ozzie Smith because he was traded for Ozzie Smith, and it's so rare that you have like a straight shortstop for shortstop trade. You're just always going to be compared to that person. And, of course, Ozzie became a legend in St. Louis, a Hall of Famer, the Wizard of Oz. And I think it always made Templeton, his career, seem a little bit lesser than it was. But Tempe was a phenomenal baseball player. I mean, really, all around great shortstop. Offensively, he was better than Ozzie Smith was. Now, he didn't have the flashy defensive highlights, but he was a good defender as well and did so many good things for the Padres over the years and helped them to that 1984 World Series appearance.
Yeah, for sure. And it's the joy that you feel when they do something good and the pain you feel when they're scuffling or struggling. But I mean, I ride for my guys, man. That's how I am. I probably defend them to a fault, and I get that, and probably rubs people the wrong way. But that's just me being 100% genuine. I love the dude. I love the things that he does for this community. I think that differentiates him from other superstars that have played here that made a lot of money. And I know it's a small thing in some people's eyes. Results are the only thing that matter. And I understand that frame of mind as well. But again, he's just a dude that I've enjoyed covering and watching since he started, in Baltimore. I mean, he's just one of the best I've ever seen. And the attitude that he has, I can understand why it does rub some people the wrong way. Absolutely. I completely get it and understand it. I just don't agree with it.
I think it's fair to point out that when you looked at the possibilities for Manny's 2024 season, the worst case scenario is still in play. He never feels quite right. His numbers are way down from what they were, and they have been so far, and that very much remains a possibility. It could end up being the worst season of Manny Machado's career, and I think we kind of understand and get that. But let's also keep in mind that realistically, the best case scenario for Manny Machado, like not, pie in the sky, but like realistic, he was going to get off to a bit of a slow start. He wasn't going to be out in the field every day. Hopefully he'd slowly come around. And while that happened, the Padres would be able to, tread water, not get too far back in the division or the wild card race. Hopefully could be around 500, maybe a game or two over. And then later in the season, maybe Manny does start to get locked in and do Manny things to kind of even the numbers out. That also remains absolutely in play for the San Diego Padres. Yeah. The best case scenario for Manny is still right there on the table because the Padres haven't played their way out of anything. In fact, they're right in the thick of it and in one of the wild card spots right now, and they've yet to get any Manny Machado-like performances from their superstar. So both the worst case and best case still kind of remain in play for Manny Machado in 2024, and we're just going to, I know you hate to hear it, we're just going to have to be patient and find out which direction it goes for the rest of this season.
Yeah, I mean, and if he has a terrible year, I'll be the first to admit it was a terrible year. And hey, he's going to be here for a while, so hopefully he can rebound. But no, man, I love the guy, I want it for him, and it's tough. It is hard though when you have a guy that you ride for and they're not performing.
I will say I don't think there's a scenario. He could end up having a terrible year this year. I don't think there's a scenario where this year is terrible and then the rest of the contract is also terrible. Yeah. He will eventually be Manny. It's, some level of Manny Machado again and earning at least a good portion of that salary. He's not done. Yeah. He's not washed. I see that comment a lot on social media. Yeah. Manny Machado is washed. I don't think so. In fact, I'm very confident he's not. He may not be that player this year, but at some point he's gonna be there again. The question is, how long can he hold on to it once he gets it back? And, how deep into his 30s will he be an elite level player? But he will be an elite level player again. I just don't know if it's going to be later this summer or not until 2025 when it's going to happen for Manny Machado.
Yeah, for sure. I couldn't agree more with everything you just said.
All right, we've got a 4-pack of tickets to give away to the San Diego County Fair. Last one this week for us. It is less than 2 weeks away. It starts June 12th, runs through July 7th at the Del Mar Fairgrounds. Details at sdfair.com, but be the third caller right now, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Call now. Third caller going to win a 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Get that funnel cake battered hot dog with powdered sugar and maple syrup from Chicken Charlie's this year. And we'll come back. Final segment of Ben and Woods. Things Ben likes. I want to bring up a topic that came up during the...
we have a guest coming in studio for our final segment.
We have Adam Klug coming in studio as well.
He's going to have to wear it for... We'll
the story. From earlier, what Adam did...
Adam's major
involving our golf tournament.
Yesterday.
Yes, we will hold his feet to the fire on that one. Next, with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Congratulations to Mario. Won the 4-pack of tickets to the San Diego County Fair. Congratulations to Mario. So our program director Adam just walked in. Don't show him yet. He has a wardrobe on that I don't think he'd dare wear in here if Woodsy was actually in studio and not
a chance.
Safely 25 miles away in his home office. And you'll see what Adam's wearing coming up in just a moment. First, though,
the hell is it?
First, though, this hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Express Employment Professionals. If you're ready for a new job, and Woodsy might be in just a second, let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is your one connection for a summer job in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. That's good news, Woods. Go to expresspros.com to find your location. That's expresspros.com. If you're in our chat, you will see Adam in a second, and if you're not, we'll describe what he's wearing right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Liberty Mutual. Couple of problems wrapping up our morning drive. Stalled motorcycle in the center divide, South 805 before the 52. An emergency crews have had to shut down the transition ramp to clear a crash on the northbound 125 at the westbound 54 connector. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Hi, we're Comparion Insurance Agency. Never heard of us? We know. But to help it stick that our local agents are insurance experts, we're going to say local agent 3 times in the next 5 seconds. Local agent, local agent, local agent.
Find us at ComparionInsurance.com.
So if you missed the story this morning, our boss Adam Klug, we had a package of like 200 Padres rally towels that were sent to us by the Padres to give away at our golf tournament coming up. But instead,
oh my God, this guy.
Instead, Adam started distributing them everywhere around the building, gave Braden a couple of bags full, and now he is joining us wearing what I can only describe as a nun's habit created out of Padres rally towels. Woods here on 97.3 The Fan.
Oh, I can see it. I can see it. And, I hope you heard the opening segment of the day. Went back and looked at my text message from Chris Connolly at the San Diego Padres, and he said they were left to your attention. Your meaning me, Stephen Woods, not you, Adam Klug. What the hell happened?
Can I offer you guys a rally towel or 12?
Yeah, seriously.
We don't want to see what's on about 200, actually.
Yeah, I need 200 of them.
I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. The Padres are great partners of ours. They drop stuff off for us all the time. And it generally gets dropped off and dropped at my desk. There's no note. There's no, hey, Adam, this is for who this is for, whatever. It's for all the morning shows and all of the talk shows to share and show off and post on social media and do the talking points and promote. Hey, come on out to Tuesday night's game against the Marlins. It's the City Connect belt bag night. Come on out, buy your tickets. And so, this time there were like 5 bags. And I have to admit, it was a little odd that there were so many rally towels. But nobody told me what they were for.
Yeah, because it was addressed to Woods.
It wasn't addressed to Woods.
It said to my attention.
Chris Connolly, who I love, can say it was to your attention, but there was no note on the top of the bags that said, attention, Ben and Woods.
Maybe you fire off an email that you like to do so much and ask everybody, hey, any idea why the Padres would send some rally towels from a couple of years ago in bulk?
I just, look, Woods, I thought you'd appreciate this. I'm in here, and I'm wearing it.
Literally. You look like one of the girls from The Handmaid's Tale. Off Adam.
Yeah. I think, is it Handmaid's Tale or The Handmaid's Tale?
The Handmaid's Tale. Whatever it is. All right, yes. There are the rally towels that we now need to collect from throughout the building and throughout San Diego to try to get back into our golf tournament swag bags.
I did feel really bad, though. I told Woods yesterday I felt like legitimately very, very bad. And I went around the office, and all those pictures that I sent to Woods, I gathered them all up. I still had 1 bag left. I probably have, 100 of them over at my desk. So there's that. And now we got to kind of go ask Braden to bring back those other ones.
Well, you know what happens at Ben & Woods when someone makes a mistake like that, Adam. Can you reach right over to your right there? You'll see
right over to my right. There's a bunch of the rally towels that I brought in.
There's the bean wheel, and just grab the jelly bean wheel and give it a spin.
I deserve this.
And we'll see what comes up on our bean boozled Jelly bean wheel. Give it a nice spin and let everybody know what you've come up with.
These are nice and fresh and been replenished.
They were already disgusting when they're fresh. Now they're extra disgusting. All right, what did you end up with? Blue. What are the
This is buttered popcorn or rotten egg.
Oh, all right. So open it up and find the bean that matches the description there. And pick one of them, and you'll get either buttered popcorn, which is not an unpleasant flavor, or you will get rotten egg, which I had before, and it is a very unpleasant flavor.
Oh, it's making me nauseous. I'm not joking.
Here it comes.
Blue? This is the buttered popcorn.
Well, if it isn't the consequences of your actions.
Now, I have done the bean boozled before. I am 1 for 1 on good.
Yes, you are.
Jelly beans.
Is it going to be 2 for 2? Or will the universe extract its karmic revenge on Adam Klug? What is it?
Sweet, sweet buttered popcorn.
Oh,
damn it!
God, son of a...
Damn it. I don't know why you guys are always complaining about this game. It's easy.
He needs old bandage is what he needs. That's the one. That's the one that sticks with you for weeks.
Popcorn.
So, how many of these rally towels are you saving to give your kids for their birthday,
I'm
holidays?
in such a good mood. Should I go for another bean? Another jelly bean?
I'm happy.
I mean, if you're willing to risk it, give one more spin.
Don't spin it. Just grab one.
Just grab one. Anything you want. Just open the top. One more spin. All right, it's a blue. What could this possibly be?
This is berry blue or toothpaste, right?
Oh, toothpaste is easy.
That's not the worst one.
Well, what do you want?
Just eat it. Just eat it.
Just eat it.
Okay, that's toothpaste.
Toothpaste.
It's not bad.
I mean, that's like the
minty,
least offensive of the bad ones on the wheel.
It really is. Just keep eating.
Okay,
till you get
Ben,
a bad
boy
one.
Ben. I'll go again.
Oh, no.
I'm letting him pick a jelly bean for me.
Oh. Hurry up.
Try that one.
So this one is either peach or barf.
Barf is so bad.
It's okay. I've got the minty taste of toothpaste in my mouth. Already.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh, finally got one. Yeah. All right. Now he knows the feeling.
Yep. Good.
Now he knows the feeling of pain that we've all endured before. He finally knows what it's like.
It legitimately tastes like throw up.
It's barf.
It makes me want
terrible.
to throw up.
All right. Thank you, Adam.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, buddy.
Appreciate that.
See you back soon. Hope you feel better. We'll see you on Monday, Woodsy.
I will. See you Monday, bud.
So, Woodsy, you missed the roundtable yesterday, and I threw out one of my Ben hypotheticals that I like to do in the roundtables, but I didn't get your take on it. And my hypothetical was, all right, Rob Manfred all of a sudden, for whatever reason, has moved the trade deadline up from the end of July to the end of May, and A.J. Preller only has a few hours left to make his last deal of the year. What position do you address if you had to make a move right now to improve the San Diego Padres? And this is the last move you can make for the rest of the 2024 season. Yeah, starting pitching. Do you need another bat? Something that, to attack left-handers? Another bullpen arm? What are you addressing with your last move if you had to make it by 2:00 today?
I'm going to go try to fleece Peter Bendix again in Miami and get Jesus Luzardo with 2 more years of control, very reasonably priced, and get a frontline starter that is, the potential. He can be nasty at times, and I think that is a very, very solid move because, again, if history proves and Fernando starts to mash in June as he always has, and Manny picks it up, and Jurickson plays well, and Jake continues to play well, and Jackson and everybody else, fine. Give me the frontline starting pitching, and we'll roll.
That was the consensus answer. Was a starting pitcher. Now, the other sub question though is, all right, let's say, and let's assume everybody's healthy. You Darvish, and there's nothing wrong. He comes back. He's healthy. If you did add Jesus Luzardo, who are you taking out of your starting rotation? Are you pulling Matt Waldron out right now after what he just did and how he's been throwing? Or do you put Michael King into the bullpen where he pitched with the Yankees before? What do you do with an extra starter?
Again, if we're talking a playoff series, or are we talking a run?
We're talking the rest of this season. What do you do right now?
Of this season?
Right now.
Jeez, man. That's a tough one. It's really
tough. Do you take out your least effective starter so far this year, Joe Musgrove, from the starting rotation? I don't.
No,
but
I do not. No, I don't either. I don't either. But I mean, again, no. If it's today because Yu Darvish is not healthy, then it's an easy call, right? Like, get Yu Darvish healthy and ready to go, and Jesus Luzardo steps right in. But I think that frontline starting pitching, especially reasonably priced with years of control left, and look, they're probably going to be reluctant to do a deal with you again after you just murdered them, in my opinion, for Luis Arias. But stranger things have happened, so that's probably what I would do, Benny. I think about offense and who may be available. And, of course, you look at the Mets, and I had a buddy texting me yesterday, got to go get Pete Alonso. I'm like, I don't know. He just got drilled on the hand. He's a huge power bat.
But they say he's going to be okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, he's a rental. He's going to cost a fortune as far as prospects go. But, I mean, J.D. Martinez may be available. He's a professional hitter. I know that muddies the water a little bit.
But again, let's say you acquired Pete Alonso, because this was brought up on the roundtable. Who are you now taking out of the Padres lineup on a day-to-day basis? Because it's not. I mean, you probably put him at first base. Are you benching Jake? He's had a great season. No, you can't. But you need Luis Arias out there, so you can't bench him either. And the suggestion was made by Braden, actually. Well, maybe you move Jake to short and you bench Ha-Seong Kim, who's been struggling this year, and that could be the possibility if you added another bat to the lineup here. I don't know.
That's why adding a DH really kind of muddies the waters, as I said. I don't know. I mean, it's just another. It's a chance to get guys off their feet, I guess. But you can't really get in any kind of groove if you're doing that every single day. So I really don't know what the answer is. DH may not be the smartest fit for this team. Another DH, I guess, moving forward. But I don't know. I really don't. And with no guarantee of how Xander's going to play when he comes back, if he comes back, it just kind of leaves everything up in the air. And guys like Manny and guys like Tatis and guys like Ha-Seong Kim, they got to step up. Campy needs to get it going with the stick again. Not hitting the ball very well right now at all. So yeah, there's some holes for sure.
And that was Craig's answer. He said, honestly, if you're going to go upgrade anywhere, you could go get a catcher right now because Campy has not been hitting for the last month. He's hitting like 100, and Kyle Higashioka is hitting worse than that. He's hitting 0 for the last month. So, and you're not getting great defense out of either one of them. Is a catcher a position that you'd consider? I think these are all topics that will be interesting as we go forward. None of these moves probably happen right away.
I was just going to ask, do you guys see any big moves happening?
No,
that was shocking that the Marlins got rid of Arias.
It was,
so early.
But part of it is also to stay under the luxury tax. If you're adding a premium player, the later you go, it's prorated. So it helps the Padres stay under the luxury tax by waiting another month to 2 months closer to the trade deadline to acquire anyone, because you don't have to pay as much of their salary this season. I don't know. Just something to kind of ponder as we go forward and see how the Padres do this weekend in Kansas City.
Yeah, 100%, man. I hope we get this game in tonight. Ready to watch some Padres baseball again, man. I'm losing it without it.
All right. Before we leave, though, let's.
I'm not ready for that. We're not gonna have time.
We're not gonna have time for it anyway. All right. Well, let's talk about.
It's like 3 minutes long.
We ran out of time at the end for things Ben likes. Would you just want me to just kind of do it ad-lib, just impromptu?
No, I do not want you to do it ad-libbed. I was looking forward to it because I'm actually feeling nauseous right now, so I was going to...
You didn't eat the bean.
Listen for the
just
light.
From watching Adam eat the bean, it created some post-traumatic bean stress for you.
Potentially. I literally feel like I'm going to throw up in this trash can right now. That'd be good radio. If you guys want to hear that, I could probably work that up for you guys. On a Friday.
Do you ever do the thing where you make yourself throw up when you get like close and you just want it out?
Yeah.
So you actually 100%. Go and just do that? I've never done that in my life.
What?
I've never made myself throw up.
I like vomiting.
I do not.
But I don't like it like I don't use it.
Adam just ate
eating
barf.
disorder.
He
but
just
you know
literally
what I mean?
ate barf.
I know, it's making me sick, to be honest with you. No, but when I feel that like I'll probably go pull trigger here in a minute.
There's a whole expression for it.
Yeah, pull trigger. I feel like it's gonna happen anyway. Might as well just get to it, and then I instantly feel better. Does that make sense?
It does. All right, so Padres, Dylan Cease against Michael Wacha of the Kansas City Royals at 5:10 today. Sammy Levitt with the Eco Water SoCal pregame show at 4:10. We got Annie and Elston coming up next, and then I think a little Gwen and Chris at 2 o'clock to get you ready for the game today. I was jealous a little bit. Jesse seemed like he had a really good night last night, going for barbecue with Mud, and Dave Marcus and Tony Gwynn Jr. And they actually got the Kansas City barbecue, the ribs. Looked like a fun off night on the road for that broadcast crew. And you gotta take some fun nights over the course of a long season. Get together with your colleagues and your comrades as you hit the road. But that looked like a very fun evening for those people.
Paulie, have a great trip to Las Vegas. Stay out of the nightclubs, as I know you guys are
big nightclub people.
Big nightclub people.
Paulie only goes to the after-hours clubs, the ones that don't even open until like 2 a.m. That's where you're going to find Paulie.
I've been there. It's crazy. Watching the sunrise, walking out of Dre's is the worst moment of your life.
You could actually wake up and go to the after-hours nightclubs, Woods, because you get up so early.
Right. Paulie, make sure you get our special cards for Benny that we like to add to his collection.
Task.
It's my favorite part of you going to Vegas a couple times.
We'll just be walking down the sidewalk, and I'll just kind of veer off away from Megan. She goes, "Where the hell did you go?" I'm like, "You know where I went."
I'm getting these prostitute cards.
Yeah,
that's what I'm doing.
Nudie baseball cards.
Where they slap them.
Yeah, nudie baseball
get your attention. Get you to look at them.
Exactly.
I can't wait.
Paulie, have a really good trip. That is it for us. Have a great week. Woodsy, you can go pull trigger.
See you Monday.
Hopefully, we will see you in studio on Monday after the weekend. Paulie, we'll see you back on Wednesday. Thanks to all the Tier 1s for a really good week. Appreciate it. That's it for us. For our executive producer and imaging director, Paul Reindl, for Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great weekend from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.